and this is where Maga comes to talk. Oh man, just a lot of excitement going on, people. More excitement than anybody could imagine. But, you know, hey, with Trump in office, he is just shocking us every minute of every day with his decisions and picks, isn't he? Oh man, this Pete Hegseth choice is just insanely beautiful. I mean, when I start playing some of the sound bites from Pete Hegseth, the liberal tears will begin. We'll be live in just a few minutes, guys. I'm just setting up for the show. Time to make the donuts. Yeah, it's been time to make the donuts for a while this morning. Okay, testing 1, 2. Okay, that's working. Testing 1, 2.
Trump fan. I want to win. And if we nominate Trump, we're going to lose.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right. That is good to go. All right. That going. It does not get better than this, guys. I mean, we have never had a period like we're experiencing right now. I got a couple, when I start my other stream, I got a couple listeners sent me some gifts, and I'm going to thank them, but I'm going to wait till I start the other stream. I'll show you what they are. Yeah, Pete Hegseth, he got a major promotion there, didn't he? Major promotion. I mean, I told you guys, Trump has everything under control. We'll be live in about 10 minutes. Oh yeah, when America's winning, the world is winning. That's just the way it is. When America's winning, the world is winning. Yeah, if you're new to my channel, guys, make sure you subscribe, all right? Well, yeah. I mean, it does not get better than this. I mean, everything that Trump is doing is so amazing. I got these gifts that a listener sent me. I'm over here. I'm gonna wait till the next stream to show them and thank them when I start my main stream. What's wrong with Russia? When we're supposed to hate Russia? Give me a break. Trump will have Russia under control. Don't you worry. There we go. Just getting everything set up. Oh. All this winning, guys. Test 1, 2. I mean, we knew we'd be winning, but who could have imagined we'd be winning this big, right? Oh, woke is beyond canceled. Woke is finished. There is no more woke. Woke is finished. Oh, if you don't already, make sure you follow me on X, guys. Brian Craig Show on X. All my show prep is there. I'm glad that Tulsi got skipped over for Pete Hegseth. Just insane. I was in such shock. I was like, what? All the DC people are just... every day Trump's had a big announcement that just freaks them out. Why should Melania go and honor these people that broke into her house? Forget that. Screw that. Who do they think they are? These Bidens. Do you blame them? Of course not. Now, guys, in the chat, could you tell me how long you've been watching me or listening to me? I'm curious. Whether it's 5 minutes or 25 years or more. Could you just let me get just a gauge? Every once in a while I do that. Two months. King Netu, welcome, welcome, welcome. A year, Kim. Awesome. 3 years. That's great. Over 10. 2. Welcome, everyone. 1.5 so far. That's awesome. 5. 1 year. Oh, that's been about 2.5 years, 6 months, 5 years. Since 2020, 2019, 9 years, 1 month. Welcome. 2016, 5 minutes. 2015-ish, 4 years, 5 years. Well, I wasn't on the air in the 80s. I started in the 90s. 92. Either 91 or 92. Well, I was like 18, 19 when I started. 7 years, 2020. The golden elevator. I don't know what that is. The golden elevator. Oh, is that at our old studio in Boca? 4 years? 8 years? A year. Wow. 6 months? I am 53. The escalator. We never had an escalator at any of the studios. We've had an elevator, but not an escalator. 2 years. Awesome. Time flies. 78, I was not on the air in 78. I was 7. Oh, when Trump came down the escalator. Yes, yes, yes. That was a great time. Since I had 26,000 subs, okay. Yeah, they're going to declare, Trump needs to declare that escalator a historical monument or site or whatever they do. Who's DN and Freddie Cruz? I know a Freddie. I don't work really with them or for him or anything. Yeah, national landmark. Historical landmark, a historical site. 2021. South Florida Tuesday used to start at 7, now starts at 5:45. That's great. Okay, it's the top of the hour. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, can you guys tell what this shirt is? What's on this shirt? Since October, welcome, 2 years.
Stay cool, have a great Wednesday, and keep it right here.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family.
Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. If you're new to my channel, this is where Maga comes to talk. And there he is, the great Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. I mean, this is nuts. I mean, this cabinet's much better than the first cabinet, isn't it? Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. We'll be on the air shortly, guys. This is just a wonderful thing. A listener sent me these new headphones. I've not used them yet. Robert in Pittsburgh, remember the headphones broke the other day? And he sent me these Sony headphones. I haven't used them yet. I just plugged them in. Wow, these sound great.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right. Welcome, one and all. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Oh, man, this is where Maga comes to talk. It is Wednesday, November 13th. 1 week ago today, I opened up this mic and we celebrated the re-election of our favorite president, Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has just been making these bold moves. And I'm sure most everybody knows this. If you don't, if you've been sleeping under a rock, last night, well, it's night for me because I have this weird schedule. But yesterday, President Trump named Pete Hegseth, the Weekend Fox and Friends guy, as the Secretary of Defense. And this is absolutely amazing, Pete Hegseth. And I'm going to play some audio of him in just a little bit. This guy, he does not play around. Pete Hegseth is kind of like a General Patton type personality, as you'll hear. Oh, by the way, Jeremy, who's filling in for Mike, can you make sure the delay is engaged? I meant to tell you before the break. Yeah, can you make sure the delay is on? Gotta make sure. Well, I'm going to play some sound bites of Pete Hegseth, and sometimes he uses some salty language, and I didn't go in and do any bleeps this morning, so just in case. Just give me the thumbs up if the delay is on. Gotta be careful. The Secretary of Defense is going to be speaking soon, and you never know what he's going to say. So last night, my wife and I were watching. Is everything's A-okay? Okay, the delay is engaged. Oh man. One time the delay was broken for like weeks when we didn't, of course we didn't announce it on the air. It was when we were on the AM station. And if we would have announced it on the air, we would have been in big trouble. So last night my wife and I were watching the news on television, not much happening. And my wife, she's on X, and she says Trump just named Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense. And I said, is that real? I said, I don't know about that. And she's like, no, it's here. And I said to my wife, I said, are you sure that's not like Babylon B? You know, and there's like, no. And then like 20 minutes later, it finally gets mentioned on Fox. This is one of the boldest moves ever. From the border czar to this, the people that President Trump has picked are just perfect people. And Pete Hegseth, you're going to hear a lot of people say he's right out of central casting because that's one of our great President Trump's favorite phrases about people. But it is true. He's everything the left hates. He's a man's man. He loves America. He's good looking. He's MAGA. He's conservative. And immediately the left attack him. How's he qualified? He went to 2 Ivy League schools. He went to Princeton and was it Harvard or Yale? I can't remember which one. He went to Princeton for undergraduate, and then he was at ROTC. Then he went to either Harvard or Yale, whichever one of those. And he has 2 Bronze Stars. And he hates this woke crap. And he is already talked about the need to fire all these wokester generals. Harvard, yeah, Princeton and Harvard. You know, I mean, so both of these Ivy League schools. Rachel Maddow went to Princeton, so you should be excited. A fellow alumni, Secretary of Defense. President Trump picked Pete Hegseth for a bunch of reasons, most of which we don't know yet, because he got, you know, but I can tell you a couple of them. When I play some of the audio later, you'll hear him. He has been very vocal recently about the need to fire these woke generals and admirals in our services, as well as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, this new chairman that replaced Milli Vanilli. And that has to be done, this military. And then, you know, we were talking on the program a couple days ago, Monday, that whoever Trump picks as Secretary of Defense, what are they going to do with all of these guys in the military that are cross-dressing, right? You know, that are doing drag shows. You know, that's against military regulations. And now I think it'll be taken care of. This woke stuff is over. These generals and admirals are out, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They're going to be fired, and it's going to happen quickly. President Trump's putting together this commission of retired generals and admirals, but Pete Hegseth will have no problem firing them all. It's not going to be a problem. And I know people are saying, oh, how can Trump fire these people? How can this happen, these generals? President Truman fired General MacArthur, and General MacArthur won the war in the Pacific. I'm a big hero. You know, and if Truman can fire MacArthur, these guys whose names we don't even know, who cares? But there's some other reasons beyond all of that. If you notice the people that President Trump is bringing in, with the exception of Homan with the border czar, these are young people. And good looking, typically, too. And you might say, well, that's shallow. Who cares? What President Trump is doing, from J.D. Vance to Pete Hegseth, he's bringing in younger people on purpose. And he's bringing in younger people. He's in his 40s, Pete Hegseth. He's bringing in younger people to connect with the Gen Zers. The millennials are a lost cause. Plus, some millennials are like 40 years old. 40% of Gen Z female voters voted for Trump. That's amazing. You know, all this great work that Charlie Kirk has been doing with Gen Z has paid off. And Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who looks like a guy out of a Jerry Bruckheimer movie, like if they did a new Transformers and the Secretary of Defense was in it, they would cast a guy that looked like Pete Hegseth with all this cool tattoos, We the People on his arm, crosses and stuff. I mean, he's, you know. The Gen Zers are going to love this guy. Pete Hegseth is going to be a rock star with Gen Z. And a lot of what President Trump is doing with his picks, these are obviously good MAGA people that he can trust. You know, Pete Hegseth, he's not one of these guys that's all in with the military-industrial complex or the politicians. He has no allegiance to the politicians in Washington, no allegiance to the military-industrial complex, no allegiance to the permanent Washington class, Pete Hegseth. This is the perfect Secretary of Defense. And you know what? No one would have ever guessed this. People thought it might be Tulsi Gabbard. This is amazing. But a lot of what President Trump is doing is a couple things. With the Gen Zers, he's bringing people in that they like, that they gravitate to. You know, this year-long celebration of America, this Fair of America he's going to do for a year at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, which I'm going to go to that. There's no way I'm going to miss that. I'm going to go to that. I can't wait for it. But he's bringing back American pride with Gen Z. Gen Z has been brainwashed with all this Obama education, learning nothing but negative things about America with their 1619 lie and all that stuff. And Trump's not just making America great again, he's making sure that young people learn how great America is. And Pete Hegseth, when he starts going to these turning points and when he's Secretary of Defense and speaking at colleges and everything, can you imagine what that's going to be like? Oh my goodness. And President Trump, he's also, you know, he only got one term left. It's the Constitution. President Trump is also building up an incredible MAGA bench so that after his final term is up here, we've got great people, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and many others to join, J.D. Vance, who we expect to be our nominee and president-elect in 4 years, that he's got these young, competent, conservative, MAGA, good-looking, role model type people that are ready to continue the MAGA movement. He is setting up a MAGA dynasty outside of his family, like the Kennedys. Although people in his family are stepping up. Barron's role in this campaign was huge, we're learning. Don Jr.'s daughter, Kai, the golfer, has become like a YouTube star, like in a week. You know, so we got a great group with the Trump family, but Trump's bringing in all these people. Marco Rubio's being groomed to be maybe JD's running mate, but a few people could. Pete Hegseth could be president one day, moving from this. This is absolutely amazing. Am I the only one who was shocked when he named Pete Hegseth? I didn't think it was real. I really didn't. Were any of you thinking it was Babylon Bee too? So after the first break, we'll take some calls, but also I'm going to play some of the audio from Pete Hegseth, and we got a bunch of things to cover on the program today. But you know, this chairman of the Joint Chiefs that we have right now, this guy's an idiot. The guy that replaced General Milli Vanilli. He said that when he's an Air Force general, when he first got the job as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, he said his first priority was to increase the diversity among fighter pilots. Now, no one is against fighter pilots that are of different skin colors and stuff, but the priority should be the best of the best become our fighter pilots. You don't want to get second-tier people because, oh, well, we're looking at the sheet and we're short, 26 Latino, Latinx pilots, so we just got to make, you don't do it that way. The best of the best should be our fighter pilots. This woke stuff is dangerous, and it's all over with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the weekend guy from Fox and Friends. I wonder it's crazy. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to remind you guys, it's Medicare open enrollment period. The one time of year you can make changes to your existing Medicare plan. You want to call Debbie at I Will Advisors. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, Debbie from I Will Advisors can help you with your Medicare. She'll review your policy at no charge. Our weekend guy, Al Knight, who I've been friends with for over 30 years. we used to be on the, remember he was the board op for Craig Worthen on the old 1400 WFTL that was in Cracktown, 19th Street, south of Oakland Park Boulevard. It was very dangerous. We had an electric gate and fence around the building with razor wire protecting us. Oh my goodness, it was a dangerous place. But our weekend guy, Al Knight, he took his mother over to Debbie at I Will Advisors, and Debbie reviewed his mother's policy. And Debbie at I Will Advisors saved Al Knight's mother $400 a month on her Medicare supplement. A month, $4,800 a year. It's amazing. Give Debbie at I Will Advisors a call. Now, if you get an answering machine, leave your name and number, and she will call you back. And remember, Debbie Klatzoff and her family have been with the Steve Kane Show since 1993, helping listeners of this program with their Medicare each and every open enrollment period. The number, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. All right, we'll take our first break and be right back. I mean, look at this. This is his bio. I'm going to go through a little bit of this when we get back. His middle name is Brian, Pete Hegseth, so he's got a great middle name.
The Jupiter Joe Money Show presents Christmas Oldies at Noon. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Join the True Oldies channel beginning next Monday at noon for your
Monday at noon.
Christmas Oldies. I do love Christmas music. Feel the magic of the season with 1 hour of your holiday favorites. It's Christmas Oldies each day at noon. Brought to you by the Jupiter Joe Money Show on the True Oldies channel.
If you're on hold, hang in there. Now, a couple of listeners sent me gifts. This from Robert in Pittsburgh. Robert in Pittsburgh, these are brand new, right out of the box, sent me these new headphones that are spectacular. These Sony headphones, they say professional on the side. And I must say, Robert in Pittsburgh, these headphones sound great. And they're very comfortable on my ears. Let me see that. And they are great. Absolutely. Aren't they great? So, Robert in Pittsburgh, thank you so much for the headphones. They will be getting a lot of use, I promise you. I'm going to leave them here at the radio station. Oh, they're freaking out at the White House. I mean, this is... Oh yeah, these are great headphones.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listed in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM. The Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM. Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM. And anywhere in the world.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. If you're on hold, hang in there. I don't know if you guys remember, was it last week? Yeah, last week, while I was on the air, my headphones broke. And I've been using some other headphones. And I came in today, and one of our listeners, Robert in Pittsburgh, sent me a brand new set in the box of Sony headphones, and I'm using them for the first time. I came here to the radio station today, and they were here, and I opened them, I plugged it. They sound great. I mean, I sound like full stereophonic sound. They're so comfortable. So Robert in Pittsburgh, thanks for the headphones. Oh my goodness, I appreciate it. All right, let's go to the phones. We're celebrating President Trump's incredible pick, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Oh my goodness. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Harvey from Robstown, Texas.
All right.
Patel, I'm sorry. Is Cash Patel and Ratcliffe at the same position? I mean, I know they don't, but
Cash Patel, Cash Patel and who?
John Ratcliffe.
No, Ratcliffe is going to be the National Security Advisor. Okay. And Cash Patel is CIA Director.
The reason I was asking, I'm just looking at a newscast last night, and they have him being CIA Director, and they don't have Cash Patel listed.
Well, maybe they're not up to date. No, Cash Patel is been picked by Trump to be the director of the CIA. And that's a great pick.
I like Pete a lot. I really want Tulsi Gabbard to have that job. Is there any place for Tulsi Gabbard?
Yeah, there's lots of jobs, but this one's better. Pete Hegseth is better than her. This guy will not mess around. I'm going to play some audio of him coming up in a few minutes, and you'll see what I mean. Hey, appreciate the call. You know, I knew he was in the National Guard, and the last I saw, he was a major in the National Guard. I don't know what his is he still in the National Guard? Is he a major? Has he been promoted to lieutenant colonel yet? I don't know. He got a big promotion now. He's the top guy. All right, so we don't have to worry about any of that. But Pete Hegseth is a much better pick than Tulsi Gabbard. And who would have thought of this? I mean, really, who would have thought of this? I don't think anyone would have thought about it. And the liberals, of course, are having meltdowns, which tells you exactly what you need to know. And that is that President Trump made the perfect pick with Pete Hegseth. I wanted to pull this up. This one here, this is we did check to make sure that our delay is working and on, because I didn't go through and bleep out any of these clips. Pete Hegseth does a lot of interviews. He had a book out and he went on a book tour, and he said a lot of good things that's freaking out the liberals, but sometimes he uses some salty language. So I may have to, from time to time, I may have to stop and hit the dump button on our new Secretary of Defense. But I got to tell you, is this not the coolest cabinet ever? So here is Secretary of Defense, can you believe? Pete Hegseth. And this one, CNN last night, they got all the sound bites ready. They are having meltdowns. All right, let me pull this up. Listen to this. This is the first clip. It gets good. This is good.
Straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. We've all served with women and they're great. It just, our institutions don't have to incentivize that in places where not traditionally, over human history, men in those positions are more capable.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You know, not having women in combat is the right thing to do. We should not have women in combat. First off, as we're seeing in the world of athletics with this transgendered stuff, whether it's the boxers or the swimmers, they can't win against men, right? They're getting whooped by men. So if they can't outswim a man or outbox a man, okay, how can they handle themselves in combat? It's not appropriate. And I'll tell you something. We've had women captured a couple of times, right? And what happens when they get captured? They all get raped, gang raped. The first time this happened was in the Gulf War in 1991. there was a helicopter pilot who got captured, and she's a real activist. Okay, she was one of the first women to graduate West Point. And her helicopter went down in the Gulf War. She was captured by the Iraqis, and they gang raped her. And she never talked about it. You know why she never talked about it? It wasn't the trauma. This came up years later, and she said she never talked about it because she thought that it would hurt women's roles in the military if everyone knew she had been gang raped when she was captured by the Iraqis. And then Jessica Lynch, remember, she was the POW that was rescued during Operation Iraqi Freedom. They found her in the hospital. She was all beat up from when she was captured. She was a mechanic in a combat zone. She got captured. Remember, she got rescued, and she was the first prisoner of war to be rescued from the enemy since the Second World War. It was a big deal. The Iraqis, even though she was all shot up and her bones were broken, they were gang raping her in that Iraqi hospital. Jessica Lynch. So women do not belong in combat because of the sexual abuse, and we see that women just are not as physically capable as the men through the sports. But this is the exact kind of man we need to be the Secretary of Defense. A guy who says it like it is and isn't worried about some panel on CNN and how they're going to tear him down. And, you know, if there's anyone out there who believes that women should be in combat, we're not saying women don't belong in the military in support positions. We're talking about combat roles. Is there anyone who believes women should be in combat? I'd love to hear that. Why should women be in combat? They can't outswim, they can't outbox, they can't even beat men in volleyball without getting brain damage, right? How can you put women in a combat position? It's insane. Wokeness can get people killed. And you know what? Sometimes it does. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. I'd love to hear from you. 1-888-465-2631. I want to talk about Sloman's. You know, Sloman's has this great offer for the free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone. I have this camera. I'm going to give you the number in a moment. No matter where you're located, call them. They're going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Obviously, it's a great security component to your home, but it's also really convenient. I mean, if you're like me, you've always got, Instacart coming, DoorDash, Uber Eats, the Amazon guy, UPS. You get a notification every time there's movement at your front door, and you can see who is there. It's awesome. You'll never have to get up to see who's at the door again. So they're not only going to give you the free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield, Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. They're going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for the doors and the windows. I know, pretty good deal, huh? A lifetime warranty and a backup battery. Plus, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Now, here's the number. Again, no matter where you're located, give them a call. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back. These headphones are spectacular. Just spectacular. Oh man, now if you're new, make sure that you subscribe, guys.
Weather brought to you by all
Oh yeah, Radcliffe's the CIA. You're correct. I misspoke. Wait, DWD. If you listen, watch my other stream I have going, you can hear the audio sound bites in perfect audio quality, stereophonic sound, and you can see them too. I'll correct that with Radcliffe when I get back. I got a full board of calls here. They probably all want to tell me that. The shocking, his defense secretary, Secretary of Defense, that's the, I mean, it's insanely shocking. Everyone's shocked by it. Everything he's doing is shocking. Paradise Views. Everything Trump is doing is shocking people, freaking people out. I'll keep listening, you'll find out. Keep listening, Paradise View, you'll hear everything.
Brian Craig here. Our 6th annual cruise is coming up, and you're all invited. This time, we're sailing for 7 nights on Celebrity Cruise Line's newest ship, the Ascent, to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. We set sail March 30th. We have private shore excursions, private cocktail parties, group activities. We're going to go to the shows together and much, much more. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot right now. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com to make your reservation and lock in our private group rate. Nothing comes close to Celebrity Cruises.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Callers on hold, stand by. No, I was incorrect with the caller earlier. John Radcliffe to be the CIA director. I was incorrect with that, guys. You got me. Okay, that's right. So I mean, but he's great. John Radcliffe to me, I see him on TV all the time. To me, he looks like we're talking about Central Casting, right, with Pete Hegseth. John Radcliffe is CIA director. Doesn't he look like a guy from Mad Men? Doesn't he? He looks like an actor on Mad Men. He looks like John Hamm. And he's very good. I've watched him on TV so much in the last few years, and I don't think I've ever heard him say anything that I didn't agree with. So John Radcliffe is director of the CIA. I was inaccurate when I was talking to the caller earlier. All right, so before we go to the phones, let me play this again for people that are just tuning in. This incredible pick that President Trump has made for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. He is a true MAGA guy. He has no allegiance to the politicians or the permanent Washington class, no allegiance to the military-industrial complex. He's a combat veteran with 2 Bronze Stars. He's Harvard and Princeton educated, and he's very anti-war, and he doesn't like all this wokeness that's destroying America's military. And CNN, they're having meltdowns over this particular comment.
Straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. We've all served with women and they're great. It just, our institutions don't have to incentivize that in places where traditionally, not traditionally, over human history, men in those positions are more capable.
Yeah, I mean, how can you disagree with that? I mean, that's, what he said is right on the money. This is what we need. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, women shouldn't be in combat. I've always said that all along. I was in one of 2 airborne units in the Marine Corps, Force Recon or Anglo-Co. They don't allow women. And you'd think with the woke culture and all that, they would be allowed. They will never be allowed in those units. I don't believe they should be in. And Private Jessica Lynch is the classic example of what happens to them. They went in to rescue her because they found out she was alive and what was happening to her.
She was being gang raped. She was being gang raped even though she had broken bones all over her body.
And she was never the same. You never heard from her. She probably lives in a nightmare the rest of her life.
She became a elementary school teacher, if I remember correctly. And here's the thing, Jeff. We see the women up in the sports, right? They can't compete with these men. So how are they going to compete in a life or death struggle if they can't even outswim a guy?
Now, I was never in combat, but if you're in combat and you're another man and another Marine, a soldier, or airman goes down, you're going to be able to grab him and his rifle and your gear and drag him or carry him, and no woman can do that.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, it's bad. And and there's a lot of other problems too. I mean, I don't like the idea that they gang rape our women. I mean, liberals put women in so much danger to be sexually assaulted, whether it's the illegals, or in combat. I mean, I don't like that. But years ago in Israel, they had women in combat. They took them out. They may have put them back now. They got a small population, so they're a little more desperate for manpower, right? But they took women out of combat in Israel years ago because they found that men were taking risks to protect female soldiers in combat that they wouldn't take for another man, right? Because men want to protect women, hold the door open for them and stuff. And it endangers people in combat. And that was an Israeli study many years ago. Now, again, they have a small population and they don't have the choices when they're under constant war. Maybe they've reversed that since, I don't know. But they did take women out of combat years ago because of the problems.
And, Pete Hegseth is fantastic. All of his picks. Think of this. J.D. Vance came out of nowhere, and I think he was the greatest vice president pick that Trump could have picked. After learning about him, what he's gone through, and how he got to where he is, and every one of his picks have been outstanding. And I have to give one more shout out to one of the most important picks he did. He's ambassador to Israel.
Oh, yeah, Huckabee.
Mike Huckabee. I'll tell you what, Genesis 12, 1 through 3, God tells Abraham, I will bless those that bless thee, I'll curse them that curse thee. Mike Huckabee is not loud and out there like Trump, but I'll tell you what, he's a man of God, and he is going to make sure Israel's taken care of. That was an outstanding pick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all his picks have been perfect. And this, this Pete Hegseth pick, no one, I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, what? How can that be real? I mean, but it is real, and as you hear more from him, you're going to say, wow, he's an amazing, perfect pick.
Yep.
All right.
First woman to hold, was it Secretary of State?
Yeah, Rubio.
I forget her name, but from everything I've heard on the conservative talk shows, she is a brilliant person. She is outstanding brilliant.
I don't know. No, he picked Rubio for Secretary of State.
Who was the woman that she's the first woman to hold it, and I forgot what it was.
Oh, the Chief of Staff, Wiles.
Yeah, thank you. Wiles, that's it. From everything I'm reading and seeing and hearing about her, she is a brilliant lady.
Mm-hmm.
Women do have a role in our government, in our military.
Mm-hmm.
I hold women in high regard. I had a dear Christian mom, and she helped form my life. And they have strategic, intellectual roles.
Yeah, but not combat. And by the way, combat includes flying combat aircraft too in combat zones.
Yeah, because you get shot now.
Like that woman in the Gulf War that got shot down in a helicopter and then was gang raped by the Iraqis. Exactly.
I remember that. You know, and we're coming into a whole new era where I don't see how we control the House and the Senate, so his appointment should go through fairly quickly, right?
Yeah, but I cannot wait for the confirmation hearing though, because the Democrats are going to get their chance, and they're going to go after Pete Hegseth, and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. He is very good. He's very knowledgeable. He has a command of the facts. And when they go against him, like, for example, no women in combat, they're having meltdowns over that. And these liberal senators, he's going to clean their clocks. The Pete Hegseth Senate confirmation hearings will probably be the most exciting confirmation hearing you've ever seen, because he is going to clean the clock of those Democrat senators when they come in with their woke garbage.
Has he nominated Department of Justice or
Not yet. That's going to be that's a big one. That's coming.
That's a big one, Brian. Don't you agree?
Oh, they're all big, but yes. Yeah.
General Flynn would be awesome for that, and I don't know if that's possible.
Listen, I don't know if he's a lawyer. You got to have a lawyer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if legally you need to have a lawyer, but you need to have you got to have a lawyer. All right, Jeff, I appreciate the call.
Brian.
All right, take care. Great call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
This is fantastic news.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic news. My husband's a 27-year military veteran, and I've lived in 6 states and in Europe for 3 years. There is no place in combat for women. They have no business being there. It's not even the things that women go through, and I saw that being in Italy. They're subject to what their first sergeants may want from them as far as assignments. I've seen women that had babies 6 weeks old, and they come to me, Miss Williams, what are we going to do? I got to go to this place or that place. And I say, put me down as the person to take the baby. My husband will take care of it.
Oh, wow.
That's how I got a lot of them out of deployments. That sometimes, the not officers necessarily, but sometimes the higher ranking NGOs, they put pressure on women for different favors and things. So I think this is fantastic.
No one is against women being in the military, but they should not be in combat roles. They shouldn't be in combat roles for 2 reasons. One, these rapes that happen with them, that's god awful. And
off the field.
Well, and they're getting whooped. They're getting whooped in these college sports. I mean, yeah, exactly. And when you're in a combat zone, how are they gonna take on these guys face to face? Because hand to hand, Jessica Lynch got captured. It was a close quarters thing that turned into hand to hand. It didn't go well, and she had a machine gun.
For our soldiers trying to rescue them. You're so right in your previous caller. The men, they want to protect the women. They don't. You know what I'm saying? If they get captured.
Well, I'll give you an example. The rescue of Jessica Lynch in Operation Iraqi Freedom, like 20 years ago, was amazing. Because I remember when it came on at night, the first American POW rescued since the Second World War, and it was an amazing and it was a beautiful thing. However, would they have taken a risk like that to rescue a man? Or did they know that there was an American private in an Iraqi hospital being gang raped, and they took a risk with all their lives because of that? Women in combat endanger the other soldiers.
Well, you said something else too, Brian, and that is Democrats endanger women.
They do.
Period. And I can't stand the fact that they keep putting women in danger, men in the bathroom, men in the locker room, all that. And I'm so glad that President Trump wanted that. I was a part of working for that campaign and just as a judge, everything. And he's going to do a great job.
Oh, this is the best. Oh, Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe is the CIA director. You know, and these guys, he's picking all these good-looking people. Doesn't Ratcliffe look like a guy from Mad Men? He looks like John Hamm.
Huh. I'd have to go look at.
Look when you see him. Look when you see him on TV. He looks like a guy right out of Mad Men.
His strength and demeanor is what I really like about him. He doesn't get flustered, and he gives them zingers with facts whenever he's, whenever he's confronted by Democrats, when he's testifying or whatever. And I like him.
All right, Barbara, I got to run, but I appreciate the call. I like that. Whitaker's awesome. If you're on hold, hang in there. The Christmas specials have been unveiled at MyPillow.com. Huge specials with our promo code Kane. You know, I live in a MyPillow household. I woke up this morning sleeping on top of my MyPillow mattress topper that is on top of my MyPillow mattress, because my wife and I a couple months ago got a new MyPillow mattress. My head is on the MyPillow. I'm under my MyPillow sheets. I get out of the shower. And I get up and take a shower. I get out of the shower. I dry off with the MyPillow towels. This is true. This is my morning. I get dressed. I walk out, and what do I see in the living room? I see my cat sleeping on the MyPillow pet bed. I live in a MyPillow house, and it's nice, I must tell you. And you should be living in a MyPillow household too. And you'll find great Christmas gifts too, whether it's the towels, the sheets, the mattresses, the mattress toppers, the slippers. The slippers are amazingly comfortable. To call them a slipper does a disservice because they're good for all day wear. A lot of people wear them as shoes. They have many different colors for men and women. They have all the sizes you're looking for. And again, huge discounts with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and free shipping on all orders over $75. You can also order by phone toll free 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve
Oh yeah,
Kane
see
Show.
the Christmas extravaganza is going on right now.
Just take my word for it. He called in on the air.
6-piece. The new flannel sheets. See, we got the ones here on the right that have the Christmas trees. We just ordered those this week. And I have, as does Steve, a pair of each. One of the moccasin slippers and one of the slip-ons. Steve likes the charcoal. I like the tans. But they have all these different colors. And again, you can use our promo code on all the specials at MyPillow.com. No matter what the special says, and it's free shipping on all orders over $75 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Oh yeah, the robes are great, the pet beds, the blankets, the MyPillow socks, everything, just a great deal. All right, and of course, when you do that, you are supporting this program and all my content too when you use our promo code Kane at checkout. If you're on hold, hang in there.
Is offering wholesale pricing for Christmas. The standard MyPillow, just $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. That's right, just $14.88, and free shipping on orders over $75. So go to MyPillow.com right now and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and get the standard MyPillow for just $14.88, the lowest price ever. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Now is the best time when the market is challenged to consider copper, gold, silver, battery metals, clean tech, biotech, and AI equities. Listen to Money Talk Radio South Florida.
Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel, guys. Everyone who's already subbed, do me the favor of liking the video if you don't mind.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back, and of course, we're celebrating we had two great appointments, Radcliffe for CIA yesterday, and of course, Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense, and they're not happy, which is what we want. We don't want them happy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Chris.
But great, mention as far as the military and women. Now, anybody that will complain about that just does not understand a military service at all. Now, I was in the Marine Corps just like the other gentleman I called, who Anglican. I love it. We used to train together. I was involved with air defense, so we supported many units throughout the Marine Corps, even the infantry. But we even trained separately. There were no women in boot camp. Like the gentleman said prior, the other Marine, we didn't leave any Marines behind or women. So, if they're injured or dead, firemen carry theirs on your shoulder, and we're done. We do a lot of force marching. I'll do this all day, Brian, as far as why women cannot go to combat with men. So my unit, obviously not, no women. We're a combat unit.
Well, there's all kinds of restrictions. I mean, like the age restriction. I mean, I couldn't, if I went down to enlist, they wouldn't take me. I'm too old. And because of my age, there's problems. Like you can, when you get older, what the biggest thing I've noticed about when you get older is the heat affects you. You don't do as well in the heat. So somebody, because of my age, I'm not eligible to be in the military.
I won't say it's worse than that. It's more detailed than that. I mean, we train like you wouldn't believe every year at weapons training, marksmanship requalification. But age, yes, we have Marine physical fitness tests they take every year. And they even give age restrictions for that, from say 18 to 26.
But you know what, though? The standards have gotten so low. Look at, I couldn't believe this. General Milley he's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, obese. And then that Colonel Vindman, who's just ran for Congress. Colonel Vindman, remember him, the whistleblower turned Trump in over the Ukraine call? He came in for that congressional hearing, by the way, wearing the wrong uniform in all of his arrogance, but he was also overweight. Since when do you have soldiers, officers in the Army that are overweight like that? I've never seen that before. The standards have gone really out the window.
And that's what I was referring to as well there. We have what's called weight control and military clearance. You may be within the weight control guidelines, but if you look like garbage, they put you on rehab training. I was in charge of that for a season. And so, you have to be 100%. The Marine Corps wouldn't let you go to combat with a toothache. They want no flaws in your performance.
Yeah, but now you get to go in a if you're a man, you get to go in the combat in a dress with your transgender medications, your hormones.
Worst distraction ever. So anyone hearing no women, they just mean no. They think you mean no women. Period. No. There are plenty of women that have great roles in the military and even the Marine Corps, administrative and certain support roles.
Yep.
Not combat.
And that has got to apply to combat pilots too, and helicopters and planes, because they get shot down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it can only go so far.
And it really like, I'll give you an example. We're talking about Jessica Lynch, who got captured in Operation Rocky Freedom. She wasn't a combat soldier. She was a mechanic, but she was a mechanic working at the front line, and she got captured. You can't have women in these positions. It's insane.
Yeah, and they may even want to change that, because you're right. All of them go to combat, even the administrative units. They come, they're in the group area, and they'll maintain everyone's records, because your records go with you. And food supply, everything else, and they help in those roles, and those are important. But even those going to combat and carrying them in support roles may have to change as well, because things can happen there as well. So no.
Yeah.
They need to bark up a different tree.
Yeah. And all this transgendered in the sports backs up that women don't belong in combat zones. They can't beat them in swimming. How are they going to beat them in combat?
100%.
All right. Appreciate the call. Great calls today, by the way. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
These two got, first off, you're right about John Ratcliffe. He does look like that guy, John Hamm from Mad Men.
I think he does.
He was the DNI at one point.
Mm-hmm.
In Trump's first thing, so he fits. He's not only putting the best guys there. He's finding the right fit for the right guy is Trump,
Well, this thing about people's roles, I'm sure I've mentioned this before. I was at an autograph convention about 20 years ago or so, maybe a little longer, and there was a guy there that was in the Wizard of Oz. He's passed away. This was like 20 years ago or so. If you've ever seen the Wizard of Oz, this guy was the mayor of Munchkinland in the Wizard of Oz. The mayor of Munchkinland. And I was very excited to meet him. He had his costume from the movie and everything. And I was talking to him for like an hour or two. And during the Second World War, he trained pilots in the United States. And they, of course, they had to modify the aircraft so he could reach the controls and everything. But you don't put the mayor of Munchkinland in combat. He was here. There are people, for whatever reason, don't qualify for combat roles, but there's a lot to do support-wise. You know?
Here's the deal. You mentioned the IDF, the Israel Defense Force. The woman who recently played Wonder Woman was a soldier in
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yeah. So they do, because of the lack of...
No, everybody in Israel serves in the IDF. I don't know if they put the women back in combat. I think they may have, but it's a small country with a small population, and they're under constant attack. So, so if that's different. Okay, we're a big country with a big population. We're not desperate.
Right, we're not desperate, and that's the thing. And who you mentioned CNN, and they're gonna be going crazy about who's these people that he's hiring. Who cares what CNN thinks? Nobody, because look at the ratings.
Exactly. All right, appreciate the call, Mike. If you'd like to call in, please do. 1-888-465-2631. I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. Now he's rid me of pain 6 times. 6 times. Both shoulders, arthritis in my hand, knee pain, all kinds of pains. It's amazing what Dr. Appleton does with his laser wave pain treatment. His laser wave pain treatment works on every pain I've ever heard of. Arthritis, bursitis, work injuries, sports injuries, strains and sprains, repetitive motion injuries, post-surgical swelling, neck and back injuries, knee conditions, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis, which somebody in my family has had that. It's the worst. Rotary tears, herniated disc, acute pain, chronic pain, and much, much more. And what Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment does is actually repair the damage in your body that's causing the pain. That's why every time he's treated me, the pain has not returned. And you heard the one gentleman that calls, he flew down from Rochester, New York, to get the laser wave pain treatment, Dr. Appleton. He had that treatment done in June. He called a couple days ago. He's pain-free because the damage that was causing that knee pain has disappeared. It's been repaired. And Dr. Appleton, what he does, and I did not realize this till the last time I went there. My left shoulder was in massive pain, but it was my whole shoulder all the way around, all the way down my arm and to my hand. I was in massive pain. He gave me an examination, and without x-rays or anything, he is a top guy, Dr. Appleton, and he was able to find the exact spot in my shoulder that was injured, where the pain was coming from. And he treated me in that spot with the laser wave pain treatment. Boom, pain gone, and it has not returned. It's amazing. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. Here's Dr. Appleton's number. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays with Dr. Appleton. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Lori. I'm calling from Deerfield.
Hey, Lori.
And, hey, I just wanted to let you know, Brian, that I think that you're underestimating women. Because, first of all, I believe that they shouldn't be in combat. But, however, the woman that you're saying that couldn't win in swimming, that is one woman.
No, excuse me. No. All the women lost. Okay? That transgender biological male swimmer ranked almost 300 among the men and beat every woman and beat every record and swam against all the women at all the different colleges, and none of them could come close to beating him. So you're wrong.
And I understand that, but I believe that you're underestimating women, because there are women that not all
Oh, really?
are created equal.
Tell me about your combat experience. Tell me how you handled yourself in combat.
I'm not talking about combat. I'm just talking about like swimming.
Swimming. Leah Thomas beat all the world's top ranking swimmers and broke all the world records. So nope.
There's some women that's not in competition. Like look at the women that are in MMA. Okay?
Yeah, and look at the women boxers in the Olympics. They got the tar beat out of them by those guys.
Okay, but look at the women in MMA.
Are you a Democrat? Are you a Democrat?
I'm definitely a Trump girl.
I don't know about that. Have you been in a motorcycle accident? Have you had brain damage?
No.
You sound like it. You sound like it. All right, we're out of time for this hour. We'll be back after the top of the hour.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Hurry and Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canal Radio Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show.
The incentive structure is set up for you to be following a political institution, political set, to politicizing the military to junior rank, wiping out enemies for these things.
The Obama administration happened in the second half of the second term. He didn't do it right.
Anyone accountable for these things.
And some wind, but low chances of rain throughout the day. So stay cool, have a great Wednesday, and keep it right here on the True Oldies channel.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your
Oh boy, if you're on hold, hang in there.
The All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Got a mess on the Interstate 95 southbound just past Donald Ross Road. Overturned tractor and trailer. 3 right lanes are blocked. Everybody stop and go back to Indiantown Road. Also, northbound 95 at Glades Road, an accident there on right shoulder. This report brought to you by eBay. We've all got a thing. Yes, even you. And if you love fashion, car parts, trading cars.
Oh yeah, and another listener sent me another gift, which is pretty cool. Ronald in Orlando sent me this super cool hat. See this hat? It says "Fight" with President Trump's mugshot. Isn't that nice? So thank you. Ronald in Orlando, Florida sent me this super cool hat, and I like the hats that have this opening in the background. So maybe. Oh, and it says MAGA on the back. Look at that. It says MAGA on the back.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show. And we're talking about these great picks that President Trump has made. Pete Hegseth in particular as the Secretary of Defense. You know, I played the clip of him talking about women not belonging in combat. Here is Pete Hegseth. He had a book out. So I think he's had multiple books. And he's done a lot of interviews. So you're going to hear a lot of clips of him. This is Pete Hegseth talking to Jack Posobiec about ending wokeness in the military.
And that's why you
Hold on, let me cue it up. Hold on, there we go.
Most of the more aggressive actions of the Obama administration happened in the second half of the second term. He didn't do it right away because he knew institutionally he could not. So take something for like women in combat roles, for example, which rolled out in 2014 into 2015. That was would have been an extremely controversial topic 8 years before that, in the middle of a shooting war, when there was a recognition that men and women are different, and that bone density and lung capacity and muscle mass are different, and adding the variable of women into all male units in the front lines might add some complicating factors. But by 2015, 2016, you had a Secretary of the Navy, and Ray Mabus, and other services especially the Air Force and the Army, they just laid down. They didn't even try to fight. They said, okay, at least the Marine Corps conducted a study. And they studied 400 male Marines versus 300 male Marines and 100 female Marines. And no surprise, after months of study, the all-male unit massively outperformed the mixed gender unit. But what did the Secretary of the Navy do at that point? Because he knew who his handlers were. Threw the study out and said, I don't care. Integrate every single billet. And that's the type of mindset that takes hold everywhere. It's not about standards and lethality and accountability and meritocracy. It's about what do my political handlers demand based on some societal objective that does not align with the most effective fighting force. And that's where they abdicate their responsibility. They abdicate their oath, but they've been well placed to be the types of people that already want to abdicate or are willing to because they're cowards with stars on their shoulders, and they go along to get along. They want to make the next rank, and then they want their spot on the board of the defense contractor after that, and they want to be liked by the chattering class. So there's a careerism problem involved in all of it too. But it was set up by systematically creating, as you said, different types of incentives. And now here we are in Biden, and it's a straight off CRT, DEI, gender-based, right out of a Marxist playbook if you wanted to remake an institution.
Yeah, well, now he outranks all the generals. That's Pete Hegseth. You know, and you look at this guy, what do you think he's going to do for recruitment? Oh, man, are you kidding me? Recruitment is going to go up through the roof because we got a man's man running the military now. And all these people that are in the left that are having meltdowns over Pete Hegseth, have they not seen this idiot, Lloyd Austin, the current defense secretary? I know this will be hard for some people to accept, but what I'm about to tell you is a true statement. Biden's defense secretary, Lloyd Austin, is dumber than Kamala Harris. And that is not an exaggeration. Have you seen him? He's an idiot. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Michael from, I'm calling from Delray.
All right, Michael in Delray. What's up, man?
I think I'm still the rat as far as why they're trying to blur the gender role. And, the Democratic Party is always trying to say that Trump is trying to get rid of the Constitution. But on the contrary, I think they're the ones trying to get rid of the Constitution simply because of Article 2, Section 1 that deals with the president's role. And it clearly says the executive power shall be held by the President of the United States of America. And he shall hold his office. And that's to the letter of the law.
Okay.
The vice president. When it comes to the vice president, it has no specific gender role included. It's only the office of the president. So I think, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I think that they're trying to make it more inclusive so they can overturn the constitutional.
It wouldn't surprise me. They hate the Constitution. You know, Obama talked about this a lot. You know, they think the Constitution was written by white supremacists to maintain white supremacy, and they think it's out of date. That's why liberals tell you that, and we've all grown up hearing this, that the Constitution is a living, breathing document that changes with the times. That is not true. It is written in stone, as far as I'm concerned. And but they teach all kinds of negative things about the Constitution. You are correct. All right, thanks for your call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
I think this is all based on these action-packed movies where the women are beating the hell out of the men, and everybody starts saying, "Well, yeah, the women can beat up men." You know, it's fantasy, and the people fall for this stuff. I mean, I heard that if there's a doctor show, people call these actors thinking they think they're doctors. So people are not very smart when they come to understanding the reality of women should not be in combat. That's for sure. And
well, you know, it's what President Trump says. MAGA is just common sense.
And this guy is big. I'm wondering how many of these generals are going to be so jealous that.
Well, they were having freakouts yesterday because President Trump talked about this commission of retired generals and admirals to determine who's going to get fired. Pete Hegseth, as defense secretary, is not going to have any problem firing any of these people. It's going to be exciting. Let me tell you, This guy is going to be the most exciting Senate confirmation hearings of any cabinet pick ever in history. He's so good. And when these Democrats come with their woke crap in the hearings, he's going to fillet all of them.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun thing to watch. I'm sure he's going to be, he's a smart guy, really smart, and he's a broadcaster. This guy's great. President Trump is showing that he's the smartest president we've ever had. He knows what he's doing, man, and he's going to fix his country. And really, it's so exciting to see that we finally got.
Absolutely. That's right. I appreciate the call. You know, the only problem Trump has right now is topping the next news cycle, because I knew something was coming yesterday. I didn't know what. I didn't know about this. But when, it was getting late in the day, and I'm like, well, you know what? There hasn't been any big news today. It's been kind of slow out of Mar-a-Lago. And then this happens with Pete Hegseth. And I watched CNN a little bit and Joy Reid a little bit to get their reaction. And they're just having meltdowns and freakouts, and they're losing their everything. They just can't handle it. And they just are not used to losing. Here's another clip of Pete Hegseth speaking to a group.
By community, school board by school board, city by city, state by state, and across this nation, there is a Marxist political movement, call it culturally Marxist, call it progressive, call it what you want, that seeks the destruction of Western civilization and Judeo-Christian values, America being the most obvious representative of that over the last 250 years. That is their goal.
Yeah, I mean, he knows who the enemy is, right? I mean, when when you get these other cabinet people over your lifetime that have been picked for different things, have any of them said anything that you're like, that guy, he's thinking what I'm thinking? Whether it's Marco Rubio with the border, Radcliffe, I've seen Radcliffe on, this guy is CIA director. This is beautiful. I can't wait for the declassification of the Kennedy files. I hope they haven't destroyed everything in them. You know, and I'm also really interested in them declassifying the files on Butler. This is great. We are living in an incredible, America's golden age is what President Trump calls it, and I can see it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lake Worth.
Hey, Lake Worth, what's up?
Hey, listen, I just think it's amazing that the way things worked out for us MAGA group, it was almost good that he didn't win the second term, because now he's had 4 years to plan, 4 years to find out who the good people are, and I love the meltdowns. And the interesting part is it's our overlords, the ruling class that thinks they know everything, that's getting kicked out, and they can't stand it, because they've been sucking off the trough of the American people, making millions of dollars for years, and everybody's getting upset. And I just can't wait to see more of us winning and bringing America back to where it is, and actually stabilizing the country. Because when America's strong, the world. Because when America's strong, the world's a safer place, and it's better for everybody. So I'm so excited.
Oh yeah.
Better that he didn't win.
Oh yeah. Because he having the two non-consecutive terms is much better. And you notice how Trump he releases a statement on Truth Social. This is my defense secretary. This is my CIA director. And he doesn't go out there and duel it out with these idiots in the press for 2 hours. And that doesn't mean he's not going to have press conferences. But what I mean is he doesn't care what the left react to these, how they react to these things. He knows that they shot him in the head, and he's pissed off, and he's going to do what's right. Screw him.
And then the best part about it is Paul Ryan was an idiot, and so was McConnell. And get those guys out of there, give them a Senate and give them a Congress that's actually going to work with him to get his plans through. Not these never-Trumpers, not these rhinos that have been killing us forever.
And these guys, I agree with these Pete Hegseth. I mean, what a great role model for men. When he goes to these Turning Point USA things with Charlie Kirk as the defense secretary, all the girls are going to want to have sex with him, and all the guys are going to want to be him. That's what we need. We need guys like this running the country, not guys in skirts.
Get rid of all those beta males that don't care. What was our HRS secretary? Remember that first?
Yeah.
Levine?
Rachel Levine.
And that's what they think is healthy in the Democratic Party. You got to be kidding me. So I can't wait to see what happens over the next 4 years. Have a great day.
All right, take care. And a lot of people don't know this, but Rachel Levine went to high school and played played on the same football team with General Milley. I'm not kidding. They went to high school together and played on the same football team. Rachel Levine and General Milley. Very weird. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more. I'm straight up just saying.
I'm looking for this one particular.
The current leadership of the Pentagon and the way that
Gotta turn the air down. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. Yeah, this is an awesome hat. I really love this hat. And it says MAGA inside, too. Look at that. It says MAGA inside. Isn't that cool? This is the front of the hat. I love it. It says MAGA on the back. It's a great hat.
On 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. Call us on hold, stand by. Remember, it is Medicare open enrollment period, the only time of year you can make changes to your existing Medicare plan. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. She'll review your policy at no charge, and she can help you no matter where you are located in the state of Florida. Also, Debbie represents all the insurance carriers, not just one. A lot of these people you call up during open enrollment, they're going to put you into a plan because they only represent one or two companies. Debbie represents all companies, so she'll make sure that you get the right Medicare plan or supplement and all of that, the one that's right for you. She won't fit you into something because that's all they got. She has access to all of them. Give her a call. If you get an answering machine, leave a message with your name and phone number, and Debbie will call you back. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. All right, give her a call. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're celebrating the incredible picks of President Trump, in particular, Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense. And last night, Scott Jennings was on CNN with Carl Bernstein, who's a real beaut. And, of course, CNN, like all the other leftists, are just, they don't like the idea that this Princeton, Harvard-educated, two-time Bronze Star recipient with multiple combat tours of duty in both Iraq and Afghanistan, they think he's not qualified. And Scott Jennings on CNN put them in their place last night. Listen to this.
I have confidence in the current leadership of the Pentagon and the way the defense situation has been operating for the last several years. I mean, from the Afghanistan pullout, which was an extreme debacle for which no one was held accountable. We've had spy balloons flying over the United States. We built a $300 million pier as a public relations stunt, which wound up killing an American service member. I'd say I've had just about enough of the so-called insiders running the Defense Department. I think you ought to give Pete Hegseth a chance because he's got two insiders. All the criticism of him is that he's not the expected Washington pick, and I'm just saying to you that the American people just voted against the expected Washington pick. So he's got 20 years in service, Afghanistan, Iraq, 2 Bronze Stars, Princeton, Harvard. Yeah, he's on TV, but so are the rest of us.
I know. Scott Jennings, they're going to get rid of him on CNN. He's too good. They're saying that Pete Hegseth, with all of his honors, isn't qualified because he's on TV. He says, we're all on TV, right?
It's really interesting because you highlighted a bunch of things that the civilian leadership of the country decided on. In the military, their job was just to execute. They actually, how did it go? I'm just saying. How did it go? In terms of the decision making, you're assigning decision making responsibility to the military over things that civilians were responsible for.
So you make a good point. The civilian leadership made decisions, and then the people they put in charge of the Pentagon carried it out, and it was all pretty much a disaster. So now we have a new president who I think got elected in part because of some of those disasters, and he's going to put in some of the non-insiders in charge of not just this agency, but a bunch of them. Now look, they've got to perform. They've got to perform. I mean, we've got 53 U.S. senators that are Republicans, and Pete Hegseth, he's an American hero. The man won 2 Bronze Stars for his service, and he's been a champion for veterans. He's going to have to go up there just like everybody else and prove his knowledge. This job. He's not immune from that, but we ought to give this man a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, go look at Lloyd Austin. Complete idiot. Just a total moron. That Scott Jennings, he's awesome, isn't he? Yeah, he makes CNN watchable. All right, let's go back to the phones. Great day. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dean from Morgan County.
Hey, Dean.
Hey, good morning. Hey, what do you think of J.D. Vance being the Senate Majority Leader?
I know people are talking about that because John Adams, they say, was the Senate Majority Leader when he was the Vice President. I mean, that was like 200 years ago, man. I mean, come on. It was over 200 years ago. That's not gonna. They're not gonna let that fly. I mean, that would be kind of cool, but they wouldn't let that fly.
I'm just saying, why would that be a problem?
Because the other senators would not let it happen. They got a lot of egos. Senators are not like members of the House. They're much higher up and they know it, and they feel like they're equal to the president, and they're not gonna. The other senators aren't gonna let that happen.
How many votes does it take to get that majority leader in?
They just need, for the majority leader, they just need the majority of the votes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd love to have Vance from the show. At least we don't get to.
I mean, I think that'd be cool. I'd be all for that, but they're not going to do something that hasn't been done since 1800.
Right. It sounds like the idea was great, but then it died. I haven't heard anything about it lately.
Now, listen, that's like out of a movie, okay? They're not, just because something happened 200 years ago doesn't mean it's going to fly today. There's too many egos, and I love J.D. Vance, but he's no John Adams. You understand what I mean? John Adams, a founding father. He's one of the instigators of the entire American Revolution, right? I mean, he signed the Declaration of Independence. So, come on.
He was a man's man.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, but he did, John Adams defended the British soldiers. They killed those Americans at the Boston Massacre too, which was kind of strange. Anyway, I know that would be an exciting idea, but that's probably not going to happen.
Back then, they put their life on the line every day. That was part of, our country growing.
Mm-hmm. And there was another thing, too, with John Adams, okay? Because I know everybody's talking about this, okay? And here's another thing to throw in. The way it worked back then is you didn't have running mates. You had 2 people running for president. Whoever came in first place became the president. Do you know what happened to who came in second place? They were the vice president. So John Adams ran against George Washington and lost, so he became vice president. So his party was the oppositional party to Washington. So there was a whole nother factor that led to him being the leader in the Senate. You get it? Because he was at odds with, I know this is, I mean, I know, but history, boring. But there's that's not the factor. That's not a factor here. You understand what I mean? So if J.D. Vance were I hope it's Rick Scott. I mean, he's my senator. He was my governor.
Cronin may as well just put a D in front of his name.
Listen, this is what I know. This is Trump's America. It's Trump's Republican Party, and whoever becomes the leader, Trump will it'll be with Trump's blessing, and that may be getting one of these jerks, but Trump will have made a deal. And Trump, and you got to understand something. You can see by these picks, Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He's got very competent people and advisors. If in President Trump's first term, we controlled both the House and the Senate, and for 2 years, we had Mitch McConnell, that Chinese spy, and we had that snake, Paul Ryan, stopped everything that President Trump did. And I promise you, President Trump is not going to let a bunch of Republican and name-only scumbuckets stop his agenda when he just won the popular vote. Yeah, so whatever happens in the Senate, Trump's in total control. I have no worries.
I mean, the liberals' heads are just spinning right now. They can't see it. It's crazy. I love it.
I saw Joy Reid last night. She looked like she hadn't slept in a week. She really did. She looked like hell. She did not look well. Yeah, it was great. It was great. All right, appreciate the call. All right, take care. Now, I want to tell you guys, if you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy, call Lighthouse Medical. Neuropathy is living torture. If they gave neuropathy to those guys in Gitmo, they wouldn't have had to do that waterboarding, because neuropathy is worse than waterboarding. You know why it's worse? Because it's all day, all night, 24 hours a day. The waterboarding's for short intervals. I was waterboarded once. Steve and I we did an appearance. This was during the Iraq thing, and we did an appearance at a place that was outside of the area that we'd ever done an appearance before, and it was at a mobile home community, a very nice mobile home community, not too far from here. It was called Kokomo. Anybody remember? And we had never done an appearance this far north before, and we were like, I don't know, Steve. I don't know if people will come that far. Is that within our listening range even? So I said, you know what? I'll get waterboarded. We'll do a whole thing. And we had a few hundred people showed up to watch me get waterboarded. And Steve has one of those machines where you hang upside down in to stretch your muscles. He brought that machine, and they tied me to the table, and I got waterboarded by Bill Lewis. Maybe you guys remember Bill Lewis? But it sucked. It was rough, but it didn't last. Neuropathy is all day, all night. And if you suffer from neuropathy, Lighthouse Medical, they not only have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment that works and it lasts. Steve had his neuropathy treatment at Lighthouse Medical over 2.5 years ago, and his neuropathy has not returned. He's got his life back. Give them a call. Now, when you call, make sure you tell them you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show, because then you get to take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Here's the number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay. Oh, yeah, anyway.
Thanks. Good callers to.
Yeah, pretty good. Okay. I'm not hearing that. Oh, that's why. My mic was on.
Was deemed an extremist because of a tattoo by my National Guard unit in Washington, D.C. And my orders were revoked to guard the Biden inauguration. Jerusalem cross tattoo, which is just a Christian symbol.
Is that the
This is the one.
Is that the tattoo?
Yep, right here. This one got me disinvited. I've never had orders revoked before. Listen, it's a standard deal. You remember after January 6th, everyone was in Washington, D.C. Like Nancy Pelosi had the parking garages full of National Guardsmen. My commander called me a day before, Captain Major, you can just stand down.
Okay, that's not the one I was looking for.
So the more elite the university and
Brian Craig here.
I spent the better part of a year and a half talking to vets, and not just vets, but connecting through a network of a lot of guys I know. I host my show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in New York, so I've got Saturday afternoon wide open, and I spent for months my Saturdays just on the phone, off the record, anonymously with guys in service. So senior enlisted, junior enlisted, junior officers, all branches, MOSs, eras, but mostly guys in right now, generals, privates. And all the same themes came out. You know, standards are dropping. The woke stuff is everywhere. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I heard that all the time, eggshells. I'm a commander, I walk on eggshells. I train commanders. They're walking on eggshells. They're afraid of one misstep on one identification, or one gender thing, or one racial thing, or one trans thing. And the priorities are upside down on what the units are focusing on. And every single one of those distractions means we're less good at our job, which is supposed to be close with and destroy the enemy on behalf of our nation and bring our boys home. That's all I care about. That's what I want our military focused on. And so, yeah, I tell a few of my own stories in the book, but the book's not about me at all.
How do you think that this is happening?
Well, it's a long story. I think it's because they're ideologues who want to bring a meritocracy together. That's where I think it starts. I think you have politicians who don't want to tolerate an institution. First, they want to use it to tinker.
I'm listening for the language so I can play this on the radio.
It's antithetical to their social experiments. Because the military, I mean, the book lays this out. Of course, like the integration of the military racially was a huge success. It was a huge success because black men and Hispanic men and others can perform just as well as white guys in any capacity that they're given. So the reality of life reinforced that the bigotry we saw on the outside should not be tolerated inside the military, and the military did a great job doing that. But now we're pushing boundaries in lots of different levels that are different than that, because men and women are different. Because being transgendered in the military causes complications and differences. And the book kind of lays out the common arguments that those on the left or others make, which are baked in social justice. So it started, you saw Senator Clinton with the tinkering of Don't Ask, Don't Tell and the reasons for those changes, and I talked to some of the people involved in that when that was changed. But it really happened, started to accelerate under Obama. And we saw it you saw the trans stuff come at the end of the Obama administration. We saw the women in combat come at the end of the Obama administration.
Okay. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are you doing with your money? Typically, it takes
I'm going to take a call or two, then I'm going to play that. I had to listen to it off air in case there's some language that I can't play on the radio.
and online, reportercontracting.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years.
All right. We are back. Our number 1, 888-465-2631. We're talking about President Trump's incredible picks so far for his administration, his cabinet, and, of course, highlighting the coolest guy ever to hold a cabinet position, Pete Hegseth, as the Secretary of Defense, the weekend guy from Fox. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, Richie.
Day in America. Beautiful day in America.
So when you were on the when you were on the front lines in Vietnam, were there women in combat up there or what?
No.
No.
No, there were nurses. There were that were combat nurses.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, we didn't have anybody like that. We didn't have anybody flying helicopters.
What about when you were in the front lines in Vietnam? Were there any transgender soldiers around? Men in skirts?
Yeah, if you wore a skirt, you probably would be shot in the back of the head.
Oh my goodness! Yes. Yeah. Watch your mouth. Yeah.
Well, it was a man's army.
Oh, a man's army. Oh, you misogynist, you.
Misogynist.
Yes.
I don't put women. I don't put women that like that one that got raped. You remember when the one that she got caught and they raped her?
Jessica Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have that kind of stuff, but, we didn't have Rachel Levine trying to recruit people, I'm going to say something there. You brought up something really good. These Democrats that are going crazy. First of all, I love the way President Trump is rolling out these announcements. It's like the NFL draft.
Yeah, they can't even keep up.
I've never seen anything like this where everyone is on the edge of their seat. Who's coming next? It's exciting as hell. And let's start comparing. Lloyd Austin, okay? Lloyd Austin, by the way, was the guy, when they were hanging off the planes and going at all these Afghanistans that were dropping out of the sky off the wings of our transporters, and all those Marines were blown away, and we were depending on the enemy to help us, to get us out of there. I mean, it looked like Abbott Costello was in charge. Okay? So the Fed said that. And we're going to bring up Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, yes.
They love Pete Buttigieg. How is it they love Pete Buttigieg? Because he's married to a man. At the same time...
He's a veteran. You're disrespecting a veteran here, Mayor Pete. He was...
I'm going to tell you, every time they showed a picture of him, they showed him in uniform with a gun.
Yeah. That he never fired.
Man?
Yeah.
Was that what's supposed to show his manliness?
Mm-hmm.
That he was in a uniform? These scammers, these dirty scammers. Let me tell you about Hegseth, Pete. First of all, everyone knows him because a lot of people watch Fox for a long time. The guy is a total patriot. I seen him on a Memorial Day swimming with the seals in the river in New York City, in the Harlem River. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. First of all, he gave back his diploma to Harvard in protest because Harvard is woke. Any guy like that, he's so Americana. Even his socks that he wears is Americana.
And if you watch him on the weekends on Fox and Friends weekends, I know you guys don't watch Fox and Friends during the week because I'm on, but on the weekends, how many times have you seen him in these competitions with other guys? And he wins every time. He never loses anything, no matter what they do.
Brian, he was swimming with the seals out by the Statue of Liberty, and I mean the guy is all American guy who has a brain. He's smart.
And what do you think this guy come on, he's a super cool guy. What do you think he's going to do for recruitment in the... First off, he's going to fire all these transgender officers and everything. They're out. And all these drag queens in their uniforms on TikTok, they're out. And I think recruitment's going to go through the roof with this guy.
Well, look at the head now is this Air Force guy who's complaining about that. And once again, it's racism. And
yes.
He's in charge of the service. The black guy from the Air Force.
Yeah, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It's a racist military, but he's got 4 stars. Yeah.
He's a total dirtbag. I don't care what color he's a dirtbag because he separates people again. Once again, he's crying that the black population of this country is being picked on.
Yes.
The dirtbag. Everybody is the same in the service, my friend. If you're black, if you're Asian, it doesn't matter what you are.
That's right. That's right. All right, so I'm going to put you in you approve of Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense?
100%.
Absolutely.
Janet Yellen or that other jerk that's in there, that other
Lloyd Austin.
I mean, well, not just her, all his whole cabinet. I mean, he went to the first guy going up there was laughed at by the Chinese. The first thing when he went to China, they were laughing at him. I mean,
Exactly. All right, Richie, I'm gonna run. It's a circus. I agree with that. Okay, so here's a recent interview that Pete Hegseth. He had a book out called "The War on Warriors," and so he did a lot of interviews promoting this book. So you're going to see a lot of clips on top of the ones I'm playing. This is Pete Hegseth in a recent interview. He's talking about all this wokeness in the military.
So I spent the better part of a year and a half talking to vets, and not just vets, but connecting through a network of a lot of guys I know. I host my show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in New York, so I've got Saturday afternoon wide open, and I spent for months my Saturdays just on the phone, off the record, anonymously with guys in service. So senior listed, junior officers, senior officers, all branches, MOSs, eras, but mostly guys in right now, generals, privates. And all the same themes came out. You know, standards are dropping. The woke stuff is everywhere. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I heard that all the time. Eggshells. I'm a commander. I walk on eggshells. I train commanders. They're walking on eggshells. They're afraid of one misstep on one identification or one gender thing or one racial thing or one trans thing. And the priorities are upside down on what the units are focusing on. And every single one of those distractions means we're less good at our job, which is supposed to be close with and destroy the enemy on behalf of our nation and bring our boys home. That's all I care about. That's what I want our military focused on. And so, yeah, I tell a few of my own stories in the book, but the book's not about me at all.
How do you think that this is happening?
Well, it's a long story. Well, I think it's because they're ideologues who want to bring a meritocracy to heel. That's where I think it starts. I think you have politicians who don't want to tolerate an institution. First, they want to use it to tinker. And then they also don't want to tolerate an institution that's antithetical to their social experiments. Because the military, you know, I mean, the book lays this out. Of course, like the integration of the military racially was a huge success. It was a huge success because black men and Hispanic men and others can perform just as well as white guys in any capacity that they're given. So the reality of life reinforced that the bigotry we saw on the outside should not be tolerated inside the military, and the military did a great job doing that. But now we're pushing boundaries in lots of different levels that are different than that, because men and women are different. Because being transgendered in the military causes complications and differences. And the book kind of lays out the common arguments that those on the left or others make, which are baked in social justice. So it started, you know, you saw it under Clinton with the tinkering of Don't Ask, Don't Tell and the reasons for those changes. And I talked to some of the people involved in when that was changed. But it really started to accelerate under Obama. And you saw the trans stuff come at the end of the Obama administration. You saw the women in combat come at the end of the Obama administration. It's because they looked around at the bureaucracies that they controlled in Washington, and the one that was that they didn't control. The Obama spent a disproportionate amount of time focusing on the Pentagon. They were skeptical of leadership and eventually brought in political appointees and generals who would do their bidding the way they wanted, which, as you know, in a top-down organization, changes the ethos of the whole thing. So the book is meant to pull the whole curtain back, mostly from Obama forward, and explain how the army that I enlisted in, or that I swore an oath in 2001 and was commissioned in 2003, looks a lot different than the army of today. Because we're focused on a lot of the wrong things.
Okay, so that's our defense secretary, Pete Hegseth. Isn't he a smart guy? You know, one of the things that's causing the major meltdowns in the media is this. What you're seeing with this incredible team of perfect people that President Trump is putting in these very important positions, you're seeing the end of Obamaism. Obama, who was elected, remember, 16 years ago, Obama has spent the last 16 years filling our government up with wokesters like this racist that didn't want to give help to MAGA people from FEMA, right? People like Rachel Levine and General Milli Vanilli and all these people. This is Obamaism. And they've done so much damage in the last 16 years to this country. He's talking about how our military readiness has been destroyed by Obama. And everything is being reversed. We're getting our country back to common sense normality is what's happening here. Everything that Obama has worked for 16 years has just evaporated with a Kamala Harris cackle. This is a beautiful thing. And I want to ask you this. How would you like to turn your money into guaranteed income for the rest of your life? You know, when you're retired, most people don't have a lot of income coming in because you're no longer in the workforce. You got your Social Security, you got a pension, maybe you got some stocks, maybe you got some mutual, who knows what you got? Got some CDs going on. But another revenue stream, who couldn't use that, right? That's exactly right. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call and talk to him about annuities. You know, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I've got there, you got them. But they do not guarantee you an income stream for the rest of your life. And your nest egg is never at risk with an annuity. It's absolutely amazing. Now, Joe Thomas is offering free phone consultations. You just got to mention you heard about him on the radio. You can take advantage of this no-charge phone consultation no matter where you are located in America. Tell him what your situation is. Tell him what your goals are. By the way, if you're already retired, you can give him a call. If you're planning on retiring at any point in your life, whether it's Friday or a Friday 20 years from now, give him a call. He'll run the numbers for you and give you a custom proposal. Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, you can get it off his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth.
William, thank you so much. Millie should have read the book, How to Be a General for Dummies. Exactly.
The Jupiter Joe Money Show presents Christmas Oldies at Noon. Join the True Oldies channel beginning next Monday at noon for your favorite Christmas oldies.
I do love Christmas music.
Feel the magic of the season with 1 hour of your holiday favorites. It's Christmas Oldies each day at noon, brought to you by the Jupiter Joe Money Show on the True Oldies channel.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
The Greater South Florida Chamber of Commerce has fantastic free-to-attend events all year long. Join us for their next great expo in your area.
Coming up Thursday, November 21st, it's their Senior Health Fair and Wealth Management Summit at Discovery Village in Stewart. A day filled with valuable information and resources. It's designed to help seniors take charge of their health and financial well-being. Informative sessions, interactive workshops, and tons of exhibitors. The True Oldies will be on hand from 11 to 1, giving away free cruise for two. Stop by and say hi.
Learn more and see a full list of events at GreaterSouthFloridaChamber.com.
Men, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel better. At the bio station, West Delray, Dr. Mitch Patel
Breaking news, Trump naming it.
is here to help you reclaim your youth. Hormone replacement therapy is all natural and can restore your hormones to where they were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, have more energy, and even get your sex drive back. And for women, hormone replacement pellet therapy can completely stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. No more mood swings, better sleep, and no more night sweats. Call Dr. Matez for a free consultation at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All righty. We are back. Callers on hold, stand by. So as soon as I saw on X, Twitter, that Pete Hegseth had been picked by Trump to be the Secretary of Defense. And again, I got to tell you, when my wife my wife saw it first, and she said, Trump just picked Pete Hegseth to be Defense Secretary. I said, what? And I really thought, I said, are you sure that's real? Is that Babylon beaten? You know, so I turned on CNN and MSNBC because I wanted to hear their reaction live when they got the news. And this is CNN, and they had on a Democrat, Dan Goldman, a congressman from New York.
All right, the breaking news, Trump naming his pick to head the Department of Defense. That's the Fox News host Pete Hegseth. Hegseth has been a longtime staunch Trump defender. Here he is back in 2020.
This is a president who has said, I want to make America great again, and he's up against the forces of the left who believe that America was never great.
You know, what I love about CNN and MSNBC, they play these clips of Trump's picks, and they play them because they think when you watch them, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, what did we do by voting for? They don't understand that these clips are resume enhancers.
Right, so you can see exactly where he stands, and he has been consistent in that. Hegseth is an Army veteran who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it comes as the Wall Street Journal, of course, this hour is reporting that the Trump transition team is considering a draft executive order which would establish a quote-unquote warrior board of retired senior military personnel with the power to remove 3- and 4-star officers.
Oh, I love it.
That they want. Out front now, the Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman of New York. He also served as lead attorney for House Democrats during the first Trump impeachment.
Oh, yeah. A winner.
Committee for Homeland Security, and we were going to talk about Governor Noem and her role there, but 10 minutes have passed, so the world has changed.
Yes.
The world has changed in a few ways. First is Pete Hegseth. Trump choosing him, the Fox News host, Pete Hegseth, for Defense Secretary. What do you think?
I'm shocked, truly. And what we worried about and we warned about Donald Trump, which is that he is going to appoint unqualified loyalists.
Unqualified loyalists. The man is a combat veteran with 2 Bronze Stars of Iraq and Afghanistan. He has degrees from both Princeton and Harvard. And last I checked, he was an Army major. I don't know if he got promoted to lieutenant colonel or not, but he's unqualified according to this Dan Goldman, congressman from New York, whose lapel is filled with different colored ribbons symbolizing I don't know what.
To shape this government into his own personal fiefdom and get revenge on generals and put essentially really unqualified people. I appreciate Mr. Hegseth's service in our armed forces, but being a serviceman, it does not make you qualified to lead the Department of Defense.
Oh, okay. He's not qualified, being in the service. Oh, my goodness. They're having meltdowns. We want them. If they don't have a meltdown, we don't want them in the cabinet. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. I'm calling from Barbados.
Hey, Barbados. What's up?
Hi, nothing. We won.
That's right.
First thing, yes. Another thing, Craig, I am so concerned about Mark Robinson, and I hope he gets something to do, because he was with Trump through thick and thin. And I hope that...
I'm not sure who you're talking about. Who's that?
Mark Robinson.
Who is that? I'm not sure. The name doesn't ring a bell.
Mark Robinson from North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. Everyone will be okay.
I hope so. He was with Trump through thick and thin.
Well, a lot of people were.
And Cash Patel and Rick Renal. I haven't heard anything for those guys.
Don't worry. There'll be a place for everyone that deserves it. I mean, you know, just because you supported Trump doesn't mean you deserve a cabinet position. And I think the picks that he's made have just been out of this world. They've been perfect.
They were perfect. And another thing, Craig, we're not bothered about CNN and NBS and all of those people are saying. We're not bothered with them.
Oh, no, it's fun. It's fun to watch the meltdowns live on television. Are you kidding? It's hilarious.
We're not bothered with them. We won.
Yes.
That's all about it. That they have to get used to it. They have 4 years to talk about it.
Well, you know, the stages of grief, many in the mainstream media, they're still in the denial phase.
I I just love President Trump.
Oh, yes.
Like to meet him one day. I would love to meet him one day. We just love him. My daughter and I, we just love that guy. People in Barbados, oh, what is there about him you like? I defend him through thick and thin for the things that he done for the people of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, for the things that he done. And when they say, oh, he racist, I asked the people, what about Angela Stanton? Is she white? She's black?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rocky, he is black. How he get racist? What about opportunity zone for the people that live in those neighborhoods? How he get racist?
Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I goes down that line. How he get racist? But anyhow, we won.
That's right. All right, Beverly in Barbados. Appreciate the call. You know, I remember when I was a kid. If you got a call from Barbados, you'd be in trouble at home, right? You remember long distance? Oh my goodness! But you know, with the internet's phone lines, that's not an issue anymore, really, isn't it? All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Wait, George Central Florida. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, hey. What I'm thinking, this is a rumor, a very bad rumor I've ever heard considered. What if Biden and them put us into war by January? They still have till January.
I don't know. What if the aliens invade the Earth from Mars? What would happen then? Would there be an inauguration if the Martians invaded? Oh my goodness. Let me ask you, and I'm not trying to be mean. I just want to know how to handle you as a pathetic caller. Are you? I'm going to ask you this in all seriousness. I don't want you. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. Well, you should know you don't know the question. Maybe you don't. Maybe the answer is too painful. But are you one of those Are you like one of those special people?
Yeah. Yes. I will answer that. But
Did you know what I mean by that? Do you know what I mean by that?
I'm going to give you. Would you like an answer?
Well, when I ask you if you're a special person, what do you think I mean by that?
Gifted.
No, not gifted. Not gifted or intelligent. No. Are you like mentally challenged? Short school bus, special ed in school, that kind of stuff.
Like a handful of your chronic mentally deficient callers that call in they know who they are.
Oh, okay, so that's a no. Okay, no. The reason I asked is if you I don't know what they call people that are like that anymore, but if you were like one of those type of people, I would treat you differently. So you're not like you weren't like in special ed. You didn't take the short school bus to school. You're just a strange guy that has nothing to say. Okay, I get it. Take care. You're on the air. What? Oh no, hold. I got to put you on hold. We're coming up on the top. If you're on hold, hang in there. I want to talk about my testosterone. Oh man. You know, when I went into Game Day Men's Health for my testosterone treatment yesterday, and I run into other guys there that I've seen go through the process with me. And I could see the difference in all of us because we all started testosterone treatment about the same time, and you could just see the difference. You stand up stronger. You're more you're more of a man. Let's just put it that way. I hear all these ads for people talking about low testosterone. They all say, "Are you suffering from low T?" and all this. They want to whisper it. Yes, I had low testosterone. Now my testosterone level is at the level of a 20-year-old. And let me tell you, I'm doing better than I was at 20 because when I was 20, I was working in radio, and all my friends worked at radio stations, and everybody, they were all degenerates because they were, 20 years old, hanging out with a bunch of radio people from Miami. Are you kidding? And you're partying, you're drinking, you don't eat well. Now at my age, I have my testosterone where I was when I was 20. I'm eating better. I take better care of myself. I don't drink except on our cruises. And I am feeling better than I have ever felt in my life now that I have my testosterone back to an acceptable level, that of a 20-year-old kid. And, I was having all kinds of problems, chronic fatigue. I just couldn't, I was unable to lose weight. I was dealing with anxiety. I was having memory problems. You might have noticed from time to time when I'm talking to callers. Not anymore. All that's gone. Plus, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or have lost your libido, your sex drive, that's all reversed too. Give them a call. They have a free initial consultation, and they have an in-house lab. They'll test your testosterone while you're there on your initial consultation. I had mine testosterone tested. It was low, 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 but no more. Give them a call. Game Day Men's Health. You can reach them at 561-355-5341. 561-355-5341. That's 561-355-5341 for Game Day Men's Health. Make sure you tell them I sent you. Okay, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Great calls. We're celebrating President Trump's perfect picks, in particular Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense today. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, back after this.
WSFM.
Be right back, guys.
Is that Joe?
What?
Does he call it?
No, he won't call me. I'm not back, just play it. I'll be back, but not just play it.
Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast. Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, Trolleys Traffic Check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Traffic Trailer still blocking 3 right lanes southbound 95 just past John Cross Road. Now we have northbound 95 off ramp to 45th. Both shoulders are back. Support brought to you by KFC. If you wish you knew KFC original recipe temperatures made with their secret blend of lemon herbs and spices. These tenders are so flavorful. Started chicken tender battle. New tenders, fries, and new tough apple sauce for just $5 each. That's traffic on those homes.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Home of PBKC is open every day with 65 tables of action, including cash games, high hands, Mega Man beat jackpots, and exciting tournaments. And small and win big with table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker for just a $5 minimum every day. PBKC is also your best bet for exciting OTT action for Church of Dallas, Laurel, Del Mar, and more. For more info, go to pbkennelclub.com. On the air,
Just made it.
Brian Craig.
All right. We are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, man, it's crazy. Donald Trump's only problem is, what is he going to do today to trump the news cycle of Pete Hegseth yesterday? I mean,
Endless supply of these wonderful, wonderful announcements to make, and it's just thrilling to live through it. And what's really fun, I think people miss the boat if they don't watch and listen to these liberal stations during this period. It's just a scream.
Oh, I was watching it last night. I watched Joy Reid and CNN. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Joy Reid, that's the bald black lady?
Yeah, yes. The bald lady, Joy Reid, yes.
Yeah. She was having hysterical fits of laughter last night that were so forced it was like...
I agree with that. She was she didn't know what to say.
Joyless joy.
Joy Reid, Joy Reid, what's happened to her, if you've noticed, she stopped taking care of herself. She doesn't look like she's bathing. She does have a little hair there, Steve, but she doesn't do her hair. She didn't have any makeup on. I saw this thing on the right side of her nose. It looked like she had cancer or something. She looks like hell. And when a woman stops putting their makeup on and doing their hair, that's a sign of severe depression.
Well, she was laughing hysterically. I've never seen anything like it. And just obviously hysterical is what she was. I mean, it's
yeah.
all over there. They're in shock. Absolutely in shock. And what about racial matters? Any sightings? Because we were trying, nobody had seen or heard a word about her since the election.
Not that I've seen. If anybody knows,
Sightings. I want to make sure she didn't do something.
well, I doubt that. But you know, the thing, this Pete. Yeah, I've been playing some clips today of Pete Hegseth. You know, he just recently had a book out, so we did a book tour. So we did a lot of interviews, and you're going to hear, and I've played some of the clips, and you're going to hear these clips. And what I was talking about, Steve, these Democrats in the liberal media, they play these clips of not just Pete Hegseth, but of all the Trump picks, and they're so out of touch. They think when you hear them, MAGA people are going to say, oh my goodness, what did we do by bringing Trump back? All of these clips they play, you want a high five. Oh, did you hear what Elon Musk is calling himself, his new title?
What's that?
He gave himself a new title. I'm not making this up. He calls himself the first bud, because he's Trump's buddy. So Elon Musk is not the first bud. Yeah. And I love it. And Pete Hegseth has been talking about for a long time that these woke generals need to all be fired.
I wanted to ask you about it. I was listening at the top of the list.
Starting with the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs.
My question is, what I couldn't glean from your conversations on the air, what is the policy, though? I mean, I know he's going to deal with it, but there's got to be a policy that everything in the Army, or the armed services, from what I understand, and not tremendous.
Well, I think that the regulation is that if you're a man, you cannot wear a dress. You have to wear the male uniform.
Issue of homosexuality.
Well, they say they're not gay, Steve. That's transgender people. That's part of it. You know, the drag queens in uniform. That's all going to stop. He's talked about this, and all of the DEI wokeness is going to be gone. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs is going to get fired. The guy who says his primary focus is to make sure there's more black fighter pilots, not the best fighter pilots, but more black ones. I mean, that's just, oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, we don't have the best, but we have the most diverse. How that, you know, these idiots that want to have electric airplanes and tanks, they're all gone. And you know, the thing about Pete Hegseth, he is very tight with the Trump sons. He socializes with Don Jr. and Eric, and has for years. So he is a big insider in the. He's another loyalist, which they think is a bad thing. No, we don't. We want MAGA Trump loyalist. Okay. We don't want people that are loyal to donors, politicians, or the military-industrial complex.
What the budget looks like under this new agency.
Yeah. All right, there's only one opening on our very busy board. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. You want to take some calls?
So we're in the course of the program, which I guess we have an hour left to go.
No, a little less now.
These sightings of Rachel Maddow, if you've heard any concern.
Okay.
And her welfare. So if you know where she is, or if you've heard about her.
Well, Steve, you know, it's been said that being on the air in primetime on MSNBC, you could still be missing and no one would know where you are, even if you're on every night. So I don't know if she's on there or not. All right. Let's go to the phones. I'm taking these calls. Of course, those of you that are new to the program, I just want to say this. All of our calls are screenless. When you call in, I just put you on hold. Nobody answers the phone, and we take the calls in the order in which we received them. Okay, Steve and I, we have no idea who's on hold or what they're talking about. I even have the caller ID blocked. I cannot see the numbers or anything, so they're completely screenless, as you can tell by the quality of some of the calls. Yeah. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Congratulations to the MAGA universe. Almost pulled a Reagan, but did not. I would like to tell everybody who voted for Trump, I guess you thought that was the right idea. I mean, I understand how...
The majority of the country, yes.
How much, I guess 3 years of campaigning and fear mongering and, division and all that stuff. And that one lady called before. I'm sorry, but Brian, you have to admit that with Trump, regardless, KKK and white nationalists, that's their president. Can you?
Mm-hmm. No, it's not true. In fact, if the President Trump, listen, I understand you're drinking the Thunderbird and the Ripple and all that stuff for the last week.
I'm actually just having a conversation.
You sound, Steve, does he not sound drunk?
He sounds.
Oh my God! I am on my way driving to work, Brian. You're diverting the question, and you are pulling a Brian. Okay. I'd like to say what else you're pulling, Brian, but we're on radio.
What's your question, sir?
What question was this? I asked. Hold on. Let me talk to Steve. The Steve Kane Show, Brian. If you could just stop talking.
Oh,
Steve.
You're talking to Steve, idiot.
I asked, the lady called before, and she said, there's no racism. Black people in this country got text messages the other day. Time to start, getting ready to go pick cotton. Neo-Nazis are on bridges waving flags in front of, you know why they're doing this, right? Because they finally feel they have the justification.
Let me get this straight. Hold on, sir. Stop. Take a breath. Let me get this straight. I was listening carefully to what you said, and because I'm concerned about the country.
It's a yes or no answer.
You said, excuse me. I'm going to say what I got to say. All right. Talking about the country being racist, I asked you excuse me. Don't be rude.
Steve.
Please don't make me hang up on you. Please. I'd like to have a conversation. You said you wanted a conversation at the top of the call, so let's have a conversation. Don't force me to hang up on you. I'm just checking our facts here. So you said the country is racist, and you referred to all this racism, and I asked you if you really believe that. You said yes, and as proof you offered some guy standing with a rebel flag by a bridge. Shows you the country's racist. I'm just checking the facts. Am I correct? Do I have it right? Do I have it right?
Yes, last night is somewhere they were yes.
Tell me explain to me how some jerk standing there with a rebel flag or whatever it is makes the country racist.
What you're doing, okay, ready for this, Steve?
I've asked you a question, you haven't answered.
You answered my question with another question. I'm just asking you, do you think a small percentage of KKK, white nationalists, that small group, well, I hope it's a small group, that they feel more entitled because Trump is president? No, so you don't think KKK and white nationalists also stop? That's not their president.
I think this is a figment of your imagination.
I don't think that Trump maybe wants those supporters, but he's got them.
Hey, Steve, let me ask, who is the most prominent Klansman who's endorsed President Trump? What's their name?
Fair question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to antis.
Can you ask him? Can you ask him for me, Steve? He doesn't want to respond to me. What the
I don't know any white nationalists, by name.
Then how do you? So they haven't come out and endorsed Trump.
I know Donald Trump had one to the.
If let me ask you this. Let me ask you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kanye West, who's black. Yeah, I know. The white supremacists love to hang out with black. If there was a Klansman who came out and endorsed Donald Trump, you don't think the liberal media would highlight that person?
What, Brian? These nationalists are militant.
Nationalist. All right, Steve. Can I let this jerk go? We got a full board of calls here. We're polluting the airwaves. My goodness. That's your Democrat. A week after Trump's victory,
They're coming upon us.
Yes, they are. All right, let's see here. Well, you know what, Steve? You know what I want to do? I want to invite our listeners, not the last caller, but the rest of our listeners. I want to invite you on the Steve Kane, Brian Craig 2025 Trump Victory MAGA Cruise. We're leaving March 30th out of Fort Lauderdale for 7 days. I'm going to give you Ian, our travel agent at Cruise and Travel Depot's number in just a moment. But this is our 6th cruise, Steve. And we're going to be gone. Yeah, you and I, we will have been at sea together for a month and a half. We're like almost in the Navy after this one. And those of you that have not been on our cruises, you're really missing out on a lot. I mean, we have a great cruise family. The MAGA people that come on our cruises aren't like that reject, okay? We have a private group, so we don't have to just let anybody come, all right? We have dinner together every night. We have private activities on board the ship all week long. Our shore excursions and our ports of call are private and just for our group. It's a great time. You're all invited. And I'm going to give you Ian's number. Give him a call, and Ian will give you all the information. We're taking the Celebrity Ascent this time, which is the newest ship in the Celebrity fleet. It's, in fact, their flagship ship. Give Ian a call and join us. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. And you are all invited, except that guy and liberal Al DeJohn. All right, I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show. Now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Now, guys, I want to remind you to check out Over 55 and Alive. There's a direct link to this book in the description of the video, or you could just go to Amazon and look it up. Over 55 and Alive from author Michael Cook. He is a fan of the program. This is a great book. I do have this book myself. I'm not quite 55, but I'm going to be there soon. So if you're 50 or above or about to turn 50, this book is for you. Over 55 and Alive. The Kindle edition is only 99 cents. It's also available in paperback, but the audiobook, look at this. The audiobook just 99 cents. Over 55 and Alive on Amazon. Again, there's a link in the description of the video, guys, all right? Order that book. Great book.
Son of Tom Laporta and proud seventh-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have
Hey, how you doing?
homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Women's professional soccer is here. Come out for Fort Lauderdale United's next exciting
Oh, what a great day, guys.
November 23rd versus DC Power Football Club. Live women's soccer action right in our backyard with Fort Lauderdale United Soccer. Get your tickets now at FTLUTD.com.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Market on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9449. 954-977-9449.
All right, a full board of calls. Steve, you couldn't hear the recorded commercials during the break, I don't think. But there's a new commercial we just started. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. His son Mark has joined the team. You know, it's a family business, Laporta Contracting and Roofing. His son Mark is on our newest recorded commercial for Laporta Contracting and Roofing. He's a veteran, and what a better time to salute veterans when we got this great Pete Hegseth as the defense secretary. Yeah, so if you support veterans, Tom Laporta Contracting and Roofing is the guy. Okay, every line on the board is lit. And I do want to say that the drunken guy, Tom, he's the first one of the regular Democrats who's recovered enough to pick up the phone and call us since Trump's reelection. So you got to give the guy credit for that. Now, he did sound intoxicated still, but, you know, hey. Could you imagine? That's correct. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, IB and Briar. Hey, Steve. How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm breathing. Boy, Tom, man, that guy's losing brain cells. I don't think he needs to drink or do drugs. He's just naturally decaying. You say you're supposed to get wiser as you get older. He's evolving.
Yes.
I have two questions. Number one, do you remember the Bible that Trump and Melania got married with?
No, what about it?
Okay. I want that Bible to be used on Inauguration Day, and you can look up what the Bible is.
Okay, if the president's listening, IB wants you to use the Bible that you got married with. Okay.
Not if he's listening. I have a significance why I say that. Now, what word has been abused by the Democrats more than any other word in the last 4 years, starting with the letter C? Constitution. When Trump...
You didn't give us time to answer. I was thinking. Yes.
Almost might have been short with me. You would have been short with me already. But listen, I'm going to totally lose it. I was choking up just having the thought. But if you know the significance of that Bible, when he puts his hand on that Bible and says, I, John Trump, solemnly swear to defend the Constitution of the United States, not undefend the Constitution.
Yes. Okay. All right, IB. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Open phones is Friday. Yes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling?
I'm Crystal. I'm from Texas.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi. So I'm from Texas, and the border is, the Democrats think, this is a great idea if they open the borders, but they don't realize, letting all these cartels in, and they think women are oppressed, especially the women, the Democrats, but if they let the cartel in, lots of women would be raped here.
Well, it's happening. I mean, didn't you see Lincoln Riley's rapist murderers on trial? They have been raping and murdering our women. It's a fact.
Do you think that since Trump's, he's our president now, do you think that the Democrats will try to demolish him again?
They'll never stop. Sadly, there are still Democrats. But Trump won the popular vote. So he has the population on his side. What the Democrats have become is a cult, a never-Trumper cult.
Yeah.
And they're really fighting a losing battle because Trump is never going to run again. This is it. So they have spent 9 years trying to stop what just happened a week ago, his re-election.
On them, the Democrats, that the overall plan is just beginning now.
Mm-hmm.
First step of it is for Trump to have the next 4 years in office and then hand it off, because they're going to be a series of, he's building an organization here.
A legacy, a dynasty.
And he certainly has his sons, so many great people. We have such a deep bench, to use a phrase that's overused in talk radio, a deep bench that they're gonna be looking at Republican presidents for a long.
I know that you were talking yesterday, Steve. The Dolphins won a game the other night. That I give an example of the problem in this country. Okay, do you think Don Shula would let one of his coaches wear the pants that Dolphins head coach wears now? Those capri pants for girls. I mean, I see this coach, Don Shula or Joe Robbie would that guy would not be on the field in those pants that he wears. They have feminized men so much and have done so much damage in the last couple of years. And President Trump came back just in time to turn the clock. And if you notice, the people he's picking, Pete Hegseth is textbook example. Okay, he's picking young guys, young women, good-looking people, and what he's really doing is picking people like Pete Hegseth for a lot of reasons. Okay, his competence, he's right on all the issues, he's got the balls to do what's got to be done. But he's also giving great role models to the younger voters, the Gen Z, to get them back on track. And Pete Hegseth, I told this to a caller earlier, he's going to be speaking around the country at colleges and everything else as the Secretary of Defense. He is going to be one of the greatest recruiters our military has ever had. He's a guy out of a movie. Trump says out of central casting. He literally is. And by the way, thanks for your call from Texas. Don't worry, the border will be secure. Trump's on the way, okay? Coming up. All right, yeah, end of January. Pete Hegseth is going to be, he told this story. I've got the audio, but I'll just tell you, I'm not going to play it. He's in the reserve or National Guard. He's a major. He was assigned, his unit was assigned for Biden's inauguration. And he was dismissed from the duty because he has a Christian cross tattooed on his body. They said because he has a cross tattoo, he's a white supremacist. Can you believe this? These are the monsters that are running this country. You understand what I mean? He's got tattooed on his arm, "We the People." And he also has this thing when he dresses. He's got this thing called the 3 flag rule. That's with an L, by the way. The 3 flag rule, which means he has 3 American flags on in some way, whether it's his socks, shirt, and belt buckle or something. He's always got 3 American flags on. This guy is like a General Patton, but like good looking. You know what I mean? And everyone that and Marco Rubio. One of the reasons he picked Marco Rubio, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons is he has a lot of contacts in the Latin American community and Latin America. The biggest threat to our country is not Iran, it's South America, it's Latin America. We need a Secretary of State who not only speaks Spanish, fluently, but has contacts in that world to stop what's going on, Invasion USA. I mean, everybody he's picked is, Radcliffe is the head of the CIA. I've seen this guy many times as a talking head. Radcliffe is not he's another guy out of central casting. I think he looks like John Hamm. Okay? These are great American role models, and there's nothing about them you would disagree with. Nothing. Okay, let's see here. Who's next? Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, brother. It's Nick out of Baltimore.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick, what's up?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I am so... No, I'm not. I am so excited and so energized by this. I can't wait till January.
Oh, man.
And today is going to be a big day because, of course, President Trump's going over to the White House. But after that, he's going to have a conference with the senators, and he's going to be telling them to vote for Rick Scott.
Yeah, now that's going to be a big thing today with him going in Washington.
Rick Scott's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's your senator down there, and he's a great,
and don't
great
be surprised. Don't be surprised if he spends a lot of time with Biden. It's just it's the kind of thing he might do is to convert Biden into an ally, or at least outwardly so.
I think actually Biden. I think he did actually. I think actually he couldn't stand.
I'm going to tell you this: Joe and Jill voted for Trump, and you know how I know Jill voted for Trump? When Jill Biden went to vote and she came out, it was on television. She was wearing a red dress, and And I think Joe Biden wore that red dress as a signal that she voted for Trump.
And one more thing before I go. The reason why Rachel Maddow and all those people on MSNBC are depressed, the network's being sold. It's being spun off by, it's being spun off by NBC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw last night Jack Posobiec is putting together here in Palm Beach a team of investors. They're going to make a bid on it.
Musk.
I don't think they'd let him buy that. That would have to go through some type of approval because of the Twitter.
He's going to be very active in his work with the
Yeah, the first bud. Elon Musk is here at Mar-a-Lago, guys. He's here. And, I drive around that area all the time when I get off work. Every time I see a Cybertruck, I get up next to it to see if it's Elon Musk. Because there's a lot of Cybertrucks around Mar-a-Lago. And I know one time I was there at a light and Eric Trump was at the light. Okay? So I'm looking for Elon. I'll get a selfie with him, even if it's through the car window. I'm dying to meet Elon.
to see him whittle down
the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
It's
going to be something to behold.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's gonna do it too.
You know where I'd start at? The post office. I checked my mail yesterday. The mailbox is filled. It all goes in the garbage. It's all junk mail. Get rid of the junk mail, Elon, and we could, we could get the post office down to about 15% of its current size.
A big step yesterday with the Board of Education.
Oh yes. Goodbye.
Worthless organization.
Do you guys think it's safe to assume that Elon's driving around this neighborhood in a Cybertruck? It's got to be. He's got to have a Cybertruck here. I'm dying to meet him. I'm trying to meet Elon, is what I'm telling you guys. All right, take care. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. Okay. We're late for a break. We'll be right back.
Wow.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Do you guys blame me? Wouldn't you? Because I know he's staying at Mar-a-Lago, Elon. So every time I see a Cybertruck, no matter what, if I got to slow down or speed up, I get right up next to it. Do you think Elon's driving around in a Cybertruck? What would be your guess? Now listen, guys, if you've not already done it, order the newest book from Robert Allen Miltenberg, The Sound of Light. It's available on Amazon. And there's a direct link to the book in the description of the video. He's in the chat room pretty much every day. He's a good MAGA guy. The Sound of Light from author Robert Allen Miltenberg. And when you go to get this book, click on his name. You can get his other books too. His first one was Pool Boy to the Mob, which is a great book. And this book here, The Sound of Light, it's about music, it's science fiction, it's about politics. And it's free on Kindle Unlimited. But if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's only $3 on Kindle. And the paperback is just $9.99. And again, there's a link in the description of the video. The Sound of Light from author Robert Allen Miltenberg. Click that link or search for it on Amazon and order yours. I am starving. I got to get something to eat when I get off the air.
Appleton right now and say bye-bye to your pain too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Medicare recipients, listen up. Open enrollment is the only time of year you can make changes to your existing Medicare plan. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, no matter where you're located in the state of Florida, for expert help this open enrollment period. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080.
Hi, it's Katie from Will For You. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Cortec flooring. If you are looking to freshen up your home, Cortec offers the freshest and most realistic looks of hardwood and stone. That's 100% waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof.
Welcome. Make sure you guys that are new subscribe to the channel, okay? We'll be back in just a minute.
So come on and take some samples of all the new floors from Cortec. Whether it's just one room or the entire house, Will For You is here to make the process smooth as possible. So how do we do it? Buy in bulk so we can pass on all the discounts to you. So come visit us at one of our locations and have our knowledgeable sales staff walk you through the process and have new floors in no time at all. Top that off with our experienced installation team for the perfect touch. From one neighbor to another, Will For You and Cortec are the perfect combination for your next home project. Visit us in Stewart, just south of Walmart on US 1, and Jupiter on alternate A18 Indiantown Road, and Will For the letter new.com. Will For You is family owned and operated for over 40 years.
Brian Craig here. Our 6th annual cruise is coming up, and you're all invited. This time, we're sailing for 7 nights on Celebrity Cruise Line's newest ship, the Ascent to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. We set sail March 3rd. We have private shore excursions, private cocktail parties, group activities. We're going to go to the shows together and much, much more. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot right now. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com to make your reservation and lock in our private group rate. Nothing compares to Celebrity Cruises.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show. Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. One opening on the board. I wanted to play this one clip of Pete Hegseth, Steve, the new Secretary of Defense. And this is the one that has them really freaking out on CNN and MSNBC. All right? Pete Hegseth, this is a recent interview.
Straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. We've all served with women and they're great. It just, our institutions don't have to incentivize that in places where traditionally, not traditionally, over human history, men in those positions are more capable.
Yeah, no women in combat. That's the Secretary of Defense. They're freaking, how can he say that? Well, because it's true. I mean, you agree with that, Steve? No women in combat? I mean, the women can't beat the men in the swimming. How are they going to beat them in battle?
It's not even a question of that. I mean, it's, first of all, men, I know this is not what I'm about to say, not popular with...
Oh, here you go again.
But the fact is, men have very protective instincts, and when you've got women that you're working in the field with, in a battle situation, you're more worried about them not getting hurt than you are about
exactly
what you're doing. It's a distraction.
Yes.
Any means.
That's right.
And it's just a mistake.
It's a mistake. That's right. If the women can't beat the men at swimming and volleyball, how are they going to beat them on the field of battle? Yeah. All right, let's go. 1-888-465-2631, although every line is lit, so you guys seem to know our number.
Rachel Maddow signing.
Yeah.
We're concerned for her welfare.
Yes.
Is, to the best that we've found out here, nobody has seen or heard of her since the previous night.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, speak up.
Good morning.
Yeah, your mouth is not up to the phone or something. Now we got you.
Okay, yeah, I had a headset in. To the Einstein that called you earlier, the American education system teaches people what to think and not how to think. If this guy knew how to think, he would realize that Donald Trump has hired more black, brown, yellow, white, and even probably gray Martians than he will ever hire in his next 10 lifetimes.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is the more they melt down over somebody, the more they're qualified.
Oh, yeah.
Good day.
All right. You know, I really can't wait for the Senate confirmation hearing, Steve, with these great MAGA people. It's going to be so much fun. When the Democrats try to go after... Wait until these Democrats try to call Pete Hegseth a sexist for his position on women in combat. All right, let's see. Who's next? Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you today? You know, we all remember, I guess, the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mr. General Miley, when he left. Watching this replacement come in his opening speech, which I think was the worst military speech I ever heard, about just his criteria was the DEI, the affirmative action, and everything. One thing we've got to learn, I think this DEI affirmative action has hurt this country terribly in the private sector. But when it comes to the military, it's got to be a meritocracy. It can't be affirmative action quotas and putting somebody in a $40 million...
By the way, liberals, that means merit, based on merit. Yes. Yeah, that's a lost word in the English language, merit.
It's the most important factor, and it creates great morale especially in our military. These guys, our best, have got to go forward in the military. Forget this DEI, forget all this junk. The best people go, and that's where because we're going to need our military.
Well, let me tell you though, this is not going to be as easy as it sounds, okay? Because there's a couple things that are going to be done by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and President Trump and this group of retired generals and admirals. It's not just firing the 3- and 4-star wokester generals, okay? What are they going to do with that Air Force colonel that wears the women's uniform? And how? And you know, what are they going to do with that?
They can make dress regulation. And the easiest part of what they got to do is making dress.
But they say they're women, and when that you know who I'm talking about, and when that colonel refuses, no, that's the Health and Human Services thing. That's not like a real admiral. There's an Air Force colonel who the guy wears a dress, okay? So he's not going to wear the pants, no matter. What's going to happen is you understand these transgender people they're on a lot of very strange medications. They don't think clearly, you know. And they're going to refuse, and they're going to stand up for their right.
No question.
Well, there's going to be there's no court cases in the military like that.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Well, no, after the fact. So is Pete Hegseth? Are they going to discharge them? Are they going to arrest these people?
I think they're going to arrest them. I think they're going to discharge them. They don't want them in the military.
What about these drag queens that are doing drag in uniform? I mean, are they these enlisted men?
This is my opinion. I don't know. I think it's not one of the easier things they have to do is make regulations revolving around dress. Okay.
And hair and makeup and earrings.
Yes.
I tell you one other thing they have to address. I think they're trying to this woke culture in our military academies too. That's got to go. Can't have that.
Well, there's a lot to do, and you got to understand these are hardcore activists who think that they are freedom riders. They think that they are Martin Luther King, okay? And when Pete Hegseth comes in and tells these transgender military personnel that they have to wear boys' clothes and stop wearing makeup, and you can't do drag, and you can't, and all this stuff in uniform, it's not going to be easy. And I think it's going to be there's going to be very, very high-profile incidents of disobedience in the military.
High profile.
That's right.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to keep the physical requirements in there too. The guys, they've been dropping these requirements. We have got to have our best in there physically, mentally. We can't be working on quotas and stuff that are so important.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brian. We got to run. Take care. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth, delivered
Every morning, 6 to 9, right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
It's looking pretty stable right now, up today and down yesterday. So we've got a trading range yesterday of $2,589 on the low, high of $26.27, and closing at $25.97.80. That was down $21.30, just below the $2,600. Silver was up 4 cents yesterday, closing at $30.67. Platinum closed down $16 at $9.46, and palladium was down $38 at $9.28. Look at that, palladium below platinum again. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $25.97 on the low to $2,620 on the high so far. And right now we're at $26.12. That's up $14.20. Silver's at $31, up 33 cents. Platinum down $1 at $9.45. And palladium up $2 at $930. So it looks like the markets are starting to, shall we say, stop going down and stabilize around these numbers. We think support could come in at around the $2,600 level, at least temporarily. We'll see if that holds. If it does, then we could start back up higher, but that remains to be seen. One day does not in market.
Yeah, and let me ask you on the silver, how are the deals on the bars right now of silver? How are those looking? What's the best buys in silver?
Everything is priced really well. The bars are very reasonable, dollar over spot for 100-ounce bars. Silver, 90% silver bags at $1 over spot.
Really?
Really low premiums right now. So there's great values in the silver and also in the gold products. So great opportunity.
That's like the best bargain I've seen on I think on the 90% silver since we were walking around with it in our pockets. That's some good. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You could stop in. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give him a call, and remember, you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail, no matter where you are located in the world. 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, and we will be back.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, the Steve.
All righty, all right, back to our phones. You back with us, Steve? No, you're not going to find you. What time does she still have a show?
I'd love to use my audiences or our audience as a research center. So we were kind of trying to see if anybody has seen or heard Hyde or...
Okay. All right. You could go to some of the gay bars, Steve, and at night maybe you're there, at the bar, hunched over. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on.
Chris, I'm from Texas.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, man, I'm really excited about this Department of Education getting removed. I want to see math getting back to real math in like 10 minutes for a simple math problem.
Yes. I know, isn't it?
It was nice to start graduating kids from grade school and read and write.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Texas. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, there was a long pause. I'm quick on the trigger. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's your name?
I'm from Missouri.
You're calling from where? I can't understand a word you're saying.
I'm wanting to talk about
Sure.
these people protecting the illegals,
Okay.
saying that they're not going to do their job and enforce immigration. I feel as though the president should remind them that they are obstruction of justice and that protecting any illegal immigrants should be a crime.
Well, you know what's going to happen? Okay, when the deportations happen, okay, people are going to offer them shelter in their home. They're going to set up this underground railroad, okay, like from the slavery days. And I'm Catholic, so I'm expecting my Catholic churches, Steve, to offer sanctuary to illegals.
Churches in the
Well,
So what are you going to do? So what are you going to hold on, caller? What are we going to do when churches are harboring inside the churches illegals? What are you going to do?
first of all, criminal charges can be filed against the church.
Against the priest and the ministers. Oh, that doesn't sound like very good. I don't know about that.
Justice. He is not obeying the laws of the land, which it states right in the Bible to obey all laws of the land.
Yes.
All right, thank you for your comment. One of the biggest things in the immigration problem has been the Catholic Church.
Oh, yeah.
Beginning, because they sponsor all the part of these
Yeah.
that been financing.
The Catholic charities and stuff, yes.
No, it's the worst.
Yes. Well, I'm here to tell you something that, not every Catholic is a liberal, okay? I'm Catholic. But there will be many Catholic churches, especially out west, that offer their churches for sanctuary. And if you have, Steve, a church that has 500 or more illegals inside the church, they're going to try to set up some Waco-like situations where the federal government has sieges around churches. Believe me, it's not going to be as easy as we think. We've got a great president and great leadership in Donald Trump, and he's picking great people. But believe me, the other side are plotting to do things like I'm talking about right now. And these things, like getting rid of these transgender in the service, the deportation, it's going to be much messier than I think people realize. It's just
left-wing activists.
Yes, and they got no life and a lot of time on their hands to cause havoc. Now, I want to ask you this. How would you like to turn your money into guaranteed income for life? Sounds pretty good, huh? Well, give Joe Thomas a call and talk to him about annuities. I know people, you have 401ks, you have IRAs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all that stuff. But they do not guarantee you an income stream for life, an income stream for life. And a buddy of mine recently retired, and he got some annuities, and he loves it because he's got that income coming in. I mean, he's every time I talk to him, he's traveling here, he's traveling there, he's out to dinner, and because he's got that revenue stream coming in from the annuities. It's really amazing. Now, Joe Thomas is offering free phone consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are in the United States. When you give him a call, tell him your situation. Tell him what your goals are, what you want, and he will run those numbers for you and give you a custom proposal. It's pretty nice that he does that. And the free consultation is only for our listeners, so you got to mention us when you call, okay? Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. If you missed the number, just pick it up off his website, jupiterjoe.com. jupiterjoe.com. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve. Brian, it's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, Steve. I can't swear by it, Steve, but I think I saw Rachel Maddow go by in a garbage truck about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Trump was a garbage man just a couple weeks ago. Now he's president of the United States, so that's a path.
That's a big step up for her, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway. I look at, I'm still on cloud nine from the election, and, I look at, the Democrat administration, the past 4 years that we've gone through with Joey half a bag of donuts and his son full bag of Coke Hunter and cackle hacks saying the border is secure and Bidenomics is working and we're all Hitler and the guy that called in just a little while ago talking about, the KKK white supremacy crap, that guy is the reason the Democrats lost. Everything they know, everything
they don't have a clue.
Lie.
It's all a fantasy.
Well, remember what Rush Limbaugh used to say? Rush used to say all the time, the Democrats have that old tired playbook and they use the same plays every time. They got nothing new.
Well, Trump is a mold breaker. I mean, he broke the mold with his first female superintendent job in New York. He's the first businessman to become president, not a politician. He's got the first woman chief of staff with Susie Wiles, and he's got an 04, a major as secretary.
Oh, the first Hispanic Secretary of State.
Molds everywhere.
All the white supremacists pick women and black and brown people for all the top jobs. That's what all the Nazis do. To be a white supremacist, there's an emphasis on the white part. And they don't like Jews either.
Pete Hegseth is wrong for the job because he's a man and he knows what a woman is. I mean, that right there disqualifies him. But I mean, listen, he was he was one of Trump's picks, or there was a lot of talk about him being the secretary, I think, of Veterans Affairs, like in 17 or 18, but it went another direction. But he's a perfect man.
Listen, guys, listen. When Clinton came in with that "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," okay, it was immediate, and he was a Democrat, and it was immediately challenged by, if I remember correctly, there were some sailors who challenged it. It was high profile and very controversial because some guys got discharged, and that is when we had a Democrat guy as the president, Bill Clinton. When Pete Hegseth, as the defense secretary, starts tossing out that general in the Air Force the colonel in the Air Force that wears the dress and all that stuff, it's not gonna go just okay. Believe me, and the media are gonna be all over it, and it's gonna be. We're in our celebratory mood right now. It's only been 7 days. We're having a great time, but Trump and these people will get it done. But it's not going to be smooth sailing, is what I'm here to tell you.
In business and politics and in the military, the closer you get to the people, if you're selling something to your consumer, in politics to your voters, like we did in Pennsylvania with your friend with the long hair, I can't think of his name.
Scott Pressler.
So Scott Pressler registered so many Republicans. Elon Musk, we went out there and got close to the people. And the military in 04 is very close to the lower officer ranks, but also close to the enlisted, the 2 stars he's got, the both stars.
Chuck.
He is the man he bridges the gap. And plus, he's not Trump obviously trusts him for picking him, but he's not a full of crap.
See, let me tell you what's going to happen. When Pete Hegseth and the Trump administration come in, these transgendered people in the service are going to be more out about it. They're going to have more makeup on. They're going to do their hair more, and they're going to wear the women's uniforms even more.
There's a new military base being built, gentlemen. It's being built in the Aleutians, and it's going to be called the.
Oh yes.
Go buy these misfit toys.
I like that.
Go there.
By the way, for you Democrats out there, that's Alaska.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay, take care. Yes, and it's wintertime in January and February. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hey Brian. Not drunk. Just wanted to tell you, your audience, half of them, they sound drunk, okay? And I can't even believe half the stuff that you guys are even talking about, that you can't even recognize the certain parts that Trump brings to the table. So that's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to...
He doesn't know, Steve.
They work.
At work. What do you do for work? Donate your blood plasma? What do you do? How do you earn money?
I work right around the corner from you, Brian, over the bridge in Palm Beach, actually.
You know what? When I get on, I know where that is. Are you the guy that lives in the tent on the entrance to I-95?
The tent on I-95?
When you get on the on-ramp of I-95 on North Lake, there's a guy. Is that you?
It's funny. When I went home the other day...
There's no denial.
I had to,
What?
I mean, geez Louise. But...
What are you... What is wrong with you?
What are you talking about? You're talking about I live on under a tent? I mean, like,
You said you live right down the street from me, and there's a guy that lives in a tent on the 95 ramp.
You were projecting fear and stuff popping. Yeah, this guy's bad. Yeah, Steve, you got a radio host that tells people that churches are going to start sanctuaries and they're going to start surrounding churches.
I didn't say bad, sir. I said this.
And you know what's the problem? A lot of these people are
sad. All right. Sad. SAD. Oh my goodness.
The during this period watching liberal television shows.
Yes. They're all like that.
These people need help.
That may, Steve, that may have been Rachel Maddow we just spoke with. Could be. Could be. It's true. All right, we're out of time. Pete Hegseth and Rachel Maddow both went to Princeton. She should be excited. Yeah. All right, we're out of time for today. We'll be back next time. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Great calls today. Another day of celebration. What will Trump do today? Well, we'll find out and talk about it tomorrow. See you.
WSFS 104.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right.